Hebrew 77 here.
Hey, wait a minute. What's going on? Is this my channel? Or is this your channel? What's happening? I think Shifty Sunday shifted.
Feel the shift coming in.
Well, hey, I don't know what's going on, but let's give this room a shout out. We got Lorraine Lamore with us, Lothar 900, Connie Joe Wood, and Eugene 12 so far. Welcome, everybody. Whoa, man.
Well, hey, did you feel that?
Hey, I think we just shifted again. There's Saji. What's up, Saji?
Well, hey, guys. I was just traveling the multiverse, and I ran into you.
Oh.
Well, welcome to the Shifty Sunday broadcast.
Oh, all right. I made it just in time.
Seriously, though, Hebrew, you want to let everyone know why we're on my channel instead of the normal Hebrew channel?
Well, besides the fact that I think we actually did shift there for a second, but no, I am laid up in the hospital at the moment and don't have my laptop. So God's Armor was nice enough to go ahead and put Shifty Sunday on his channel, and we all thank him for that. Or at least I can't speak for Saji, but I know I thank him for that. So,
well, hey, we can't mess a Shifty Sunday just because you're laid up.
Yeah,
right.
Being in the hospital is no excuse.
No, we won't play that. Suck it up, Buttercup. We got a show to do. Servant for Yeshua, Jesus God, house, welcome. No, seriously, though, brother, you're not serious. Let the people know, it's nothing too major, hopefully. So he wanted to do the broadcast, and I just figured a way we could do it without his laptop. So glad I could help.
Hey, I love doing this broadcast, man. I wouldn't let a little thing like the hospital stop me. You know that. But yeah, no, it's nothing too serious. So we'll go ahead and do this, and hopefully we can keep things together, because I know my phone's crazy and it keeps going in and out. So since you're the host, I'll let you know. What did you have in mind?
Oh, heck yeah. We don't even really have a game plan, folks. This is all spur of the moment. But, well, I got the phone lines ready. We can always do that at any time. We can do basically whatever you want. It's a shifty Sunday. So if you happen to shift away, we'll figure you'll shift back sooner or later. I don't even know if you got a story ready this week.
Oh no, yeah, we got to do story time with Saji.
Yeah, I always got a story. I mean, it'd take me a second to bring it up, but yeah, I got stories.
Cool. That's cool. That'll be for later, but yeah. So at least one of us is prepared. Now that's dedicated. Ace, salted cedar in the house. All right. The salted one. Love my brother, the salted cedar. His videos are amazing. That dude got more talent in his pinky finger than I got in my whole body.
I like the cedar.
Yeah,
good, dude.
I don't know if I know Saji had other stuff we was going to talk about last week and never really got a chance to get into it. I don't know if he wants to maybe talk about that this week. That's always.
Well, yeah, sure. I got it sitting right here next to me, so I figure we, get a little bit into it before we get too in depth.
Before you get in that 1 second, let me ask you guys this: would you like to? I know this is your channel, God's Armor, but would it be okay if we did the contest sort of in the comments section on just this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Welcome, Tina. God's love. My sister Tina just came in the house.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful sister. But yeah, Yeah, the contest right now over on the original Shifty Sunday channel. We're looking for a logo like for Shifty Sunday. We already have a couple entries. I think we're running it till what was it, September sometime, like the middle of September. The first Shifty Sunday in September, I think it was, right, or the second. I forget, but
yeah, that's
got a week or two yet to get your entries in. Basically, if you can think of a logo that goes with Shifty Sunday, you can either send an email to me or Hebrew or Saji, or just leave a comment under any of the Shifty Sunday videos from now till then, including this one on my channel. And the lucky winner will get a free t-shirt with that logo on it and their name, whatever name they want on it, or whatever they want on it. It ain't got to be a name, maybe your favorite verse or whatever, whatever lettering you want on it within reason. And we'll be using that logo for the show. So little contest Hebrew got going. But yeah, leave your comments in any of the Shifty Sunday videos. Shoot us an email, whatever you want to do, if you got a decent logo. And I want to thank Lothar in the house tonight for that intro, my intro. He made that for me, so shout out to him. And by the way, it ain't my channel tonight anymore. You shifted and took it over. You pirated me.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. This is a different reality. I forgot.
Yeah, this is a whole different reality. I think we might be sagittarically speaking this evening. Hey, Trevor Lear in the house. Did you catch that? Sagittarically speaking this evening.
Haha, I caught it.
He sounds a lot louder on my phone than he does on my laptop.
Huh.
Sagittarically speaking, you do.
That's interesting because you sound a lot softer.
Oh, really? Well, I don't have my super mega mic.
Yep, that's it.
That's what it is.
Yep.
Plus, I'm not trying
you're
to
slumming it tonight. Slumming it on the cell phone.
I'm not trying to sound too loud. Don't want to disturb any of the other hospital, peoples. So.
Yeah,
Well,
do you have a roommate or you got your private room?
Well, see, that's the cool thing is I do have my private room. So.
Awesome. Or we could have had a special guest, man.
Right.
Hi from the hospital. My roommate.
Well, when you're trying to broadcast all the way to Orion Spur from Sagittarius Arm, it's amazing that we're able to do this technology.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The enemy made some good technology. It's wonderful to use it against him. Works well. Lorraine wants to know what med you're on. She would be curious to know what we can expect the rest of the evening.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not on any painkillers anymore. I don't feel any pain after they did the surgery. It pretty much the pain just kind of went away after, last night I was on the only thing they put me on last night was Tylenol. As a matter of fact, just some regular over-the-counter extra strength Tylenol. Of course, the hospital will charge you about, like $20 for one pill. So good thing I have insurance.
You get a better deal on the corner of 5th and Main.
What now?
Never mind, I'm just tripping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're right, though. Yeah, they like soaking up that insurance money. No doubt about that.
I remember being younger, and I don't know if it was stand-up comedians or Johnny Carson or where it was, but it was like a running joke how the government would pay like $350 for a hammer and $250 for a nail, whenever they're building something. You guys remember that kind of them making those kind of references?
Yeah, definitely. Yep. can't remember who it was either, but yeah, that was, I think a couple different ones did that bit, about, and it's true. If you're ex-military, it's definitely true. The price they pay for stuff's mind blowing.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was scouring the net for new Mandela effects, and nothing really popped out at me. The only thing that kind of barely resonated with me a little bit was the guy who was asking on Twitter about the frozen pizzas, the Totino's frozen pizzas.
Oh
He
yeah,
was he
that's
was he was thinking that they were supposed to be Tostinos.
yeah, that's an old one there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had never heard that one before. I didn't know if you
Well, it's
guys
new for
had,
me.
or if you remembered it one way or the other. I just thought I'd bring it up. That's about the only thing I saw that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah,
that one before.
I'm sorry, Armor Up. What was that, sir?
No, I was just saying I heard that one before too. I think Dan or someone talked about that quite a while ago. Yeah, the Tostinos.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of remember it both ways, but it's not something that like really stands out for me because I don't even really like their pizza anyway.
Right. I like.
Yeah,
Well, no, I kind of did.
yeah. My
I
wife
kind of
eats.
like their pizza rolls.
Kids love the pizza rolls, but yeah, I don't remember. I don't have a set. I'm like Sadie. I sort of remember it both ways. Neither one rings any better than the other one. Hey, Jenny Perty in the house. Welcome,
All
sister.
right. Awesome.
Whoop.
Always good to see her.
Yeah,
She's
we
one.
got a nice little crowd already for a spur of the moment, hoping the word would get out there type thing. Usually notifications don't go out always for my channel, so I was hoping we'd get some people in here. Awesome. We got.
I haven't even prepared my TED talk.
Well, that's because we shifted. We had no clue what was happening. I'm just sitting here watching the George Carlin video that Hebrew sent me. Boom. All of a sudden, live. Whoa, wait, what's happening?
Yeah, I'm glad that wasn't live. Some people might have dug it, but
he's classy.
That would have been nice to do for a show if we could have gotten by with it. I don't think we could have gotten by with it, though. I don't know.
Yeah, probably not.
It is just audio, though. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it would go over too well with the censor bots.
Right.
You'd pounce on that like a plot on a coon. Or a beagle on a rabbit.
If anybody wants to know what happened to me, I'll tell them, but I won't say exactly where it was, though.
Yeah, I mean, share whatever you'd like to with the people. I'm sure everyone wants to make sure it's not serious. We do care about you. I don't know why, but we do. Hey, Dan in the house. Nah, we love you, brother. I'm sure the people out there are concerned. We'll keep you in our prayers. You got a couple good prayer warrior sisters in here right now, I'll tell you that. So you get them praying for you. Shoot, you'll be out.
Yeah,
Lothar is guessing perhaps you got hit by a bus. Hey, Carla Redfield in the house. And Photo. Holy moly. Photo Helix in the house.
Is that right?
Hold on to your hats, people. Welcome, Photo.
Wow.
Good to see you, brother.
Well, this is way too much pressure. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold up.
Right here,
we have truly shifted to a new reality. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And we will be opening the phone lines later, so Hopefully a few of you can call in. PG 2424 in the house. Holy moly. We're getting a real shout out. Oh, she has a migraine, so let's get PG in our prayers. Get rid of that migraine. She'll be listening, but hard to chat. So much love, PG 2424.
Talk about a trooper. I don't think I could even watch any of the shows if I had a migraine. Ooh.
Said the guy broadcasting from the hospital.
Well,
yeah. Yeah, mister, I'm kicked back in the adjustable bed with an IV live.
But wow, what happened? It's like we truly did shift, I think.
Yeah, it looks like it was a good shift though. An awesome shift.
Maybe we should do Shift Sunday on your channel from now on. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, it's always open, but I don't want to steal your show. I much prefer it when you're in charge, less pressure. Hey, Naika's in the house. Welcome, sister. Haven't seen Naika's in a while. Good to see you. Hope all is well.
So we have good old Saji, you were getting ready to get into some deep stuff, and I know you had notes last week. And hopefully, you still have those notes with you. And maybe
I sent them to my dog.
Huh?
But I have a rough draft, so it's all good.
No.
Swing in's in the house. Tobin just swinged in. And Scarab said he's got to go upstairs, work on his air conditioner again now that it cooled off, but he'll be listening in. So awesome.
Oh, man.
But yes, if you want to get into that, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I can do that. I definitely want some feedback because it's more of like one of those things where you're kind of like when you got some alone time and you're kind of like zoning, you're kind of like trying to zen out and you start kind of going down different trains of thought. And one of the first thoughts I came across was kind of like a proverbial question. It's, are we humans trying to be spiritual, or are we spiritual beings struggling as humans? Which one do you think is more the case, more often than not?
Let's ask the chat. Chat, do you think
are we humans trying to be spiritual, or are we spiritual beings struggling as humans?
Unfortunately, I can't see the chat because I got my phone.
I'll let you know when we get some answers. They're talking they're all saying hello at the moment, and there is a delay. So
yes, right. It takes the first 20 minutes for everybody to say hi to everybody, especially when you got a clicking chat room.
I know every time I go to Scarab's channel to say hello to everybody, I try to just cover all my bases first. I walk in there, I go in there about 20 minutes before he does the show, which is about every show. And, that way I'm able to say all my hellos and everything before the show starts and just, leave. And then when I come back, I know I've already said all my hellos.
All right, I'll read the answers. Whoops.
All right.
I thought you was done. Go ahead, brother.
No, I was just going to say, or sometimes I'll just say hello everyone, and that pretty much covers everyone.
All right. So if you remember, ask it again the way you ask it, Saji, because some answered one or two. That way they'll know which that was.
All right. Basically, I said, are we humans trying to be spiritual, or are we spiritual beings struggling as humans?
Okay. So one is humans trying to be spiritual. Two is spirits struggling as humans. So let me see. I want to get to the first answer, and we'll go in order. All right. Looks like Lorraine Lamour is with the second one. Spirits struggling as humans. Let's see. Photohelix says, the old confusion parable.
I know, right?
Tina, God's love is a number one. She thinks we're humans struggling to be spirits. Naikis is spiritual beings trying to be human. That'd be a number two. Salted is going with B for Bob. Number two. Carla says that's a good question. That's great. Photo then answers, we're butterflies dreaming we were human. Or butterfly dreaming we were human. Jenny Perty, we were spiritual beings trying to live in this mess. Lorraine Lamour is the second one also. Tobin Schwing, spiritual beings being tested here. Tina is the first one. Lorraine, spirits being human. Carla Redfield.
So it sounds like it's kind of a little bit of both.
Yep. Heavy leaning to two, though, with the chat. Carla Redpill says she's a spiritual being waiting to get out of this worn out meat suit. Amen to that, Carla. PG-24 think we are spiritual beings. They want us to hold back. They want to hold us back. You got that right. Armor up and let's get it on, people. It's time. Photo, that's an old Confucius parable, but we are flesh inside. But we are flesh inside, we are spirit. Agree, Photo. Says in scripture, Paul, I have two wills with me, so maybe it's both somehow. Very interesting answer, Zeb, and very good point. It's a constant battle of the flesh and the spirit, so perhaps we are both. I think that's everybody. Yeah, it looks like, Michael Hitzges. Well, that's a tough last name. Michael Hitzges is a number two. Chrissy H is a number two. Welcome to both of you. Tina's a one and a two. Tina's a both.
All right.
Luther says spiritual beings prisoned in the flesh. Absolutely. Lothar's going with zero. He's nothing. He don't want to be either one of those. Soda says
he opted out.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm back to the bottom. So it looks like, a couple ones, mostly twos, and a very interesting three, which is both.
Well, the good news is whether you chose 1, 2, or 3, neither one of them is going to affect your tax return. So that's good news.
That's the good news, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and when
there really isn't any bad news.
Now, when we discussed it earlier, I believe I went with number two. I believe but now I'm leaning heavily with Zeb because that really blows my mind. I never thought of it that way, but I think I think we're both because we are constantly battling spirit and flesh. So I'm going to go from my previous answer privately that we had a couple weeks ago and change it to 3. I think we're both.
All right. Well, you know what? I was leaning towards 2 as well. However, if you'd asked me 5 years ago, I would have said 1 without giving it a second thought. And now that I've had all this time to, to ponder a third option that I was previously unaware I could choose, I think I might go that one as well. So then,
in essence, though, I think our real us is pure spirit. But right now, our spirit is actually tied in with this flesh. So
then I came to the next conclusion I wanted to ask myself, which is all this talk about AI, artificial intelligence, and then all of its different forms and the Internet of Things. I mean, your refrigerator knows when to order new milk. Your printer knows, how can literally have Amazon send more ink and paper whenever it feels it's necessary if you set it up that way, and it will, so an AI at Amazon without any human involvement, will ship the ink and the paper and make sure they get just the right dimensions for your particular printer. All of it just happens. The guy might actually have to drive the truck, but other than that, AI is pretty much running the show. Uh, it seems like nowadays, more often than not, anytime you do a search online, anytime you're looking at your phone or watching TV or listening to the radio in the car, AI is somehow involved in the process. So the question is AI further impeding our spiritual awareness? Does AI benefit us spiritually more than it hinders us spiritually? That is the question that I'm kind of posing. I mean, I'm not really sure what the answer is. I guess it all boils down to how well you are at using it and how involved you are in it being part of your everyday life. But I think that AI is kind of has a mission, and I feel like AI actually is bent on making sure it prevents us from being spiritually aware as much as possible. Any thoughts on that, guys?
Well, again, let's take it to the chat. And we never did get a Hebrews answer from the last question, by the way.
Oh
But
yeah.
there you go. Does AI
My
affect us spiritually, or is it more hurt than help on a spiritual level? AI.
I'll tell you
Very
what,
well,
on his
we're waiting
last
on the
question,
chat. Give us your answer, please, on the last one.
while we're waiting for chat real quick, I'll go ahead and give my answer on the last question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm still going to lean towards number two, even though, because I think we're spiritual beings fighting inside of a physical being, trying to find a way out of our physical being is what somebody, I think someone in the chat said earlier, that they're just spiritual beings trapped inside of a physical being, waiting to get out, waiting to ditch this meat suit and go ahead and be done with it, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. It's funny how as you I wouldn't say as you get older, but as you become wiser, you start to realize the pettiness of the meat suit and you start to value the spiritual more. At least that's the case for me. I guess I shouldn't say it's the case for everybody. But speaking for myself, as I've gotten older and a little wiser, and been through some ups and downs and trials and tribulations, I just came to realize that it's important to keep the meat suit in shape and everything, but it's really not. It's not the. Uh, if something had to give, I would give up the meat before I would give up the soul. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Absolutely.
You always hear about people selling their souls to the devil and this and that, and it's to me, every time I'd hear that, I go, well, your soul is yours. It's not really yours to begin with to sell to the devil, or at least I used to think that. But then you start thinking about free will, and free will gives you the right to sell your soul to whoever you want. Doesn't necessarily have to be the devil, but I mean, since we have free will, you know, um, but you start thinking about that, and you start thinking about the consequences of, a lot of people say, oh, that's all crap or whatever. Some people might say that, but if they knowing what I know and knowing what you know, and or what we think we think that we know, or at least whatever.
Well, I don't know. What are you trying to say?
Well, I'll try to say
No,
that, like,
I'm just messing with you.
Well,
I know what you know.
how people they would sell their soul to the devil and stuff like that, and it's like you really have to think about that, because that's a really huge thing, because that's what the enemy wants your soul to have, for you to fight on the enemy's side, is what I really got to thinking about it. And it's like, let's say, for an example, you ask for eternal life. Well, if you follow Jesus, you've already got eternal life. You don't have to worry about that because that's what Jesus promised us was eternal life. So when the devil comes up and says, "You you will have eternal life if you sell your soul to me," it's all a trick. Well, of course, everything he does is a trick, but I mean, like when he says something like, "I'll give you eternal life," you're being really tricked because if you would have just followed Jesus in the first place, you would have had eternal life. You wouldn't have to worry about, selling your soul to the devil. Does that make sense to anyone?
Oh yeah, I totally agree. I always imagine the devil as a like a sleazy car salesman trying to sell you a car
Yeah.
that you don't need, but that looks so exotic and fun and interesting. However, by the time it's all over said and done with, you could you the car was already it was already an option for you even without the sleazy salesman trying to tell you he's going to give you such a great deal on it.
Well, the good thing to remember is, first of all, we can't sell anything that isn't ours. So Father owns every one of our souls. So the devil can trick us into thinking we sold it and there's no hope and la-di-da-di-da and blah-di-blah-di-blah. But it's all a lie. And it's the same lie he used in the beginning. Like you say, if he was to say, well, follow me, I'll give you eternal life, or I'll give you all the power in the world, whatever his lie is that he buys you with. It's the same one in the beginning. He told Eve, eat from it and you'll be like gods. Well, we were already made in God's image. So they fell for that lie. They already had it, yet they followed him to get it. He's the master at that. So, but back to the question that we asked the chat, and that was a very interesting thing to bring up, Hebrew. Awesome. But yeah, definitely. It's all a lie. You can't sell what you don't own. So trust me, even if you think you sold it before, you didn't really sell it. Just take it back and tell him to hit the bricks. Jenny Perty answers, why do we let AI run the show? Are we that lazy? Unfortunately, for 99.9% of the people out there, the answer would be yes, they are. Tina says, no, it hurts our spiritual journey. Carla Red Pill says it hinders it. It's trying to take our decision making away. I could agree with the fact that it's taking our decision making away, or trying. Naika says, oh, and by the way, Naika says a 3 also for the previous question. AI is now training human me how to behave more human. Photo says AI does not affect our spiritual nature. Absolutely agree. It can't really affect our spirit unless we let it. But it can't affect our spiritual nature. Which Michael Hitches just answered after that, trying to hinder us but cannot. Agree. It's trying, but it can. Sultan needs to Google that. He'll get back to us with an answer in a minute. Zeb says, nothing shall separate me from the knowledge of God. Amen. Not AI or anything else. That's number 3 then, Photo says. Lothar says, AI has no effect on any spiritual level whatsoever. That is a computer binary object that has nothing to do with human function whatsoever. And Zeb says, us, should I say, meaning nothing can separate us from the knowledge of God. Absolutely not. Lothar says, you leave your meat suits here, go to heaven, get another meat suit, same as the old meat suit. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get a new meat suit. Christy is back at the other question, still spirit beings with a soul stuck in a physical body. Yep. Hey, Go-Kart Bob, good evening. He's in the house. The internet and these that's Lorraine Lamore. The internet and these podcasts help me connect with people more. Very interesting. That's true. I think if you don't focus on yourself and be aware of what's greater, you won't be as spiritually aware and tuned in. So yeah, I think it's all where you put your focus. Right now, we're using basically the enemy system to spread the word. So it can affect you if you let it, but just like anything else, that's my opinion. I think it can affect anything can affect us spiritually if we let it, but just don't let it. Let's see. Any other answers? And photo, good point. If God doesn't have your soul, then you don't have to sell it to the devil. He already has it for free. Absolutely. You might be just following him and not even realizing it, because I guarantee you, a whole bunch, billions and billions of people are. Servant wants to know how old we are. I am, how old am I? 56, right? 56. I had to ask the wife. I always get it wrong. I'm 56. Don't fear the meat owner, something like that. So it says. Good. True. Lorraine says we came from eternal life. My flesh came from the dirt. My spirit came from Yahweh. Go-Kart Bob says. Jenny says, the devil promises power, fame, money, anything your flesh desires. Sure does. And he'll give it to you too. Don't think he won't pay out. That's why they do what they do. Tina says to hit the thumbs up. Prayers and love. Thank you, Tina.
I think I'm going to leave the panel and go in the chat room because everybody in the chat room seems pretty smart, a lot smarter than the guys on the panel.
I'm telling you, I'm impressed. Well, our chat room's always a cut above, in my opinion.
Isn't it, though? Yeah, I agree. So, with all that being said, this is kind of a continuation on the previous thing I just mentioned about the AI impeding our spiritual awareness. It goes further into saying it almost seems as if it's disguised as a friend by supplementing our needs, our need for love with false luxuries, materialistic luxuries, comforting, anything that your heart's desire, anything that would comfort you or make you feel, uh, will fill that void that only really love can fill. The AI attempts to fill it with, all these substitutes that are, materialistic, synthetic, not not nearly as important as real love, real family, real spiritual guidance. None of that can really come from AI. But then the question is, do you even know what you really want? When everybody's walking around looking down, staring at their phones, nobody's stargazing anymore. I'm not. And when I say this, nobody, I just mean the general. It seems like generally speaking, the human race as a whole. I don't mean nobody literally. I just mean it just seems like the majority of people are getting lost in their AI, getting lost in their phones, getting lost in the mainstream media news, getting lost in whatever the the hook, line, and sinker of the day is. And I guess what I'm asking is, myself included, I want to start spending more time knowing what if my potential spouse or my kids or my mom, my dad, what are they feeling today? What are they dealing with? What are their hopes, aspirations, dreams, things they may be trying to overcome? I mean, I couldn't 9 days out of 10, I could tell you more about what's going on with my phone than I could answer any of those other questions, and that's not a good thing, and myself included. And I guess what I'm asking, the overall, all that sums up into being: is it is it possible for the actual phone, the frequencies, the control, the whatever it's doing that is taking control of our attention, is it possible to have a phone, look at the phone, interact with the phone, be part of the AI system, yet still maintain your sovereignty, your solidarity, and keep your your spiritual path strong. Because I find myself struggling with it harder and harder, but at the same time, I don't want to totally give up the phone. It's like I'm learning skills. It's like it's almost like I find that I'm trying to literally learn every day how to balance and how to win that struggle. And that seems like that's the biggest struggle that I personally am dealing with. And I'm just curious if anybody else is having a similar struggle.
Well, like I said, we've talked about this privately before, and as you know, I don't have a smartphone, or so I basically got my computer, and it's like anything else, in my opinion. It's whatever you put all your effort into, or whatever you basically worship. If you're spending all your time on that phone, then it's definitely going to be taking away from your spiritual journey. Unless, of course, you're on that phone, like I'm on my computer watching sermons, or checking out a video somebody put out that's spiritual, or reading my eSword Bible because I don't feel like getting the other one down. You know what I mean? It can be used either way. So I think it's how you use it. But anything that takes your attention away from time with the Father, even watching sermons too much or something like that, isn't good. You need that time alone with the Father. So
I agree, and
anything
I
to
guess
deal with all that time is bad.
well, the last thing I wanted to mention is I guess what I'm saying is I see it as an adversary, and I see it as something that I'm going to have to continuously deal with, simply because it just seems like it's getting smarter and more clever. Believe it or not, the phone or the PC or the Xbox or whatever it is that you're using to interact with, it has it has a camera on it. It has a microphone on it. It has sensors built into it where it literally monitors us, whether you're aware of it or not. It's constantly monitoring you. It's paying attention to every text that you send, every ad that you look at, every screen that you pause on, every screen that you scroll past quickly. It's learning all your little. It's learning everything about you. When you're on a conversation with somebody, with your boss, with your child, with your mom, with your dad. It's hearing the not only the words that you're saying, but the tone of voice that you're using when you're speaking to them. It's hearing how you sound when you're upset, how you sound when you're happy, how you sound when you're bored. Um, what I mean, it's literally. I don't think people realize just how aware it really is, and how much it's really trying to recreate those frequencies. Um, it's trying to recreate what we are so that it can basically um, emulate us to the degree where it's eventually going to come to a point when you're going to be speaking to an AI operator on the phone, and you're really going to be convinced that you're speaking to a human being. However, that human being isn't going to have a soul, and it will have no interest in um, helping you keep the one that you got. If anything, the AI is that's the one thing it can never have, and it seems like eventually that's the one thing that it wants to take, because it's literally trying to learn how to recreate being a human without being a human. And I just want to I just been giving that a lot of thought. I asked myself those questions that we just asked ourselves in order to kind of try to figure out, the best plan of action to work against it, to be able to maintain my spirituality, and to be able to maintain my interaction on a higher level with my phone, but at the same time not lose my soul in the process. I feel like each generation of phone that comes out, and each generation of children that get exposed to that new generation of AI, the battle is just going to become more and more risky, more intense, and more hard fought. And I guess I'm just trying to. I might be Captain Obvious here, But it just seems like this is something that we need to pay attention to, and it seems like something that could really get away from us, not from us so much because we're actually, most of the people in this chat and most of the people listening are already aware on a certain level, but there's so many people out there that aren't, and those are the ones I guess I'm trying to I'm trying to think about how do you how are we going to overcome this? I mean, I'm not so worried about us, the people listening, the people in our chat room, but just humanity as a whole. It really does seem to be a conundrum that we are facing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's something we definitely are going to have to deal with. There's no stopping. You were saying about how they're going to eventually become so human. They actually already have, as far as when it's just voice to voice. I don't know if you guys, I believe it was a TED talk I was watching. Pretty sure it was a TED talk. And they were displaying this awesome AI they had that they basically a secretary or whatever you call it, someone was trying to book a room. Receptionist. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, baby. The receptionist was trying to book a room for her boss. Okay, called a normal hotel and was trying to set up this room. She needed a room or was booking a meeting hall or something or other. I forget what it was. But the whole time she was talking with an AI. Yet the AI was giggling. It's amazing. You have to watch it to appreciate it. There was no clue that was not a human on the other end of that phone. Absolutely none. I mean, it acted as human as any human would act in that situation because dates didn't work and times weren't working. Oh, it was a hair appointment. That's what it was. She was trying to book a hair appointment. Uh-oh. Heber shifted out. He'll shift back. She was trying to book a hair appointment. She was calling a normal little hairdresser place. And believe me, if you haven't seen it, check it out. I'm pretty sure it was a TED Talk. Man, it was probably a year or two ago. But if you can find it, it's awesome. It'll blow your mind. It definitely is mind-blowing. AI is already there as far as voice to voice, not seeing.
I mean, I know Elon Musk, like when he was on Joe Rogan, he said that AI is definitely the enemy, that we need to wake up and, that Skynet is real, so to speak. But then, what is it, 6 months later, he's promoting this Neuralink where we can literally have a chip connected to our... Wow, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, why would anyone? Well, they'll
It just
do it.
seems like it's
as Jenny said, they're
going to be one of those things that we won't totally realize how much we've lost until a lot of it's been lost.
But I don't know if you noticed, I highlighted Lorraine's comment a while back so I wouldn't forget the question. And it says, you see it on our screen there. So, Armor, if someone sold it to the devil, what happens when they die? Referring to the selling your soul to the devil thing we was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Now I got to figure out. Okay, there we go. Get rid of her question now that I remembered it. I'll answer it first, and then you could, since it was asked to me, and then hopefully you may have something to add, or because I'm going to go strictly with what I think. This is my opinion, 100% to that question. I think the question again was, if someone sold their soul and died.
I can't hear you, Armor.
You can't hear me? You can't hear me?
I hear you now, but you went silent there for the past 40 seconds.
Oh, okay. Well, that's strange. But basically the question was, if someone dies really believing they sold their soul to the devil, what happens? So strictly my opinion, just what I think. And this is sort of blowing my mind that this question even come up, because my Wednesday word, which I just finished and just uploaded for this Wednesday, at the very end of it, after the last song, I think I basically speak a little bit about this type of question. Or maybe it's somewhere in there I talk about basically the same thing I'm about to say now. So it's sort of blowing my mind that what's about to be put out Wednesday is coming up right now. It's one of those wild synchronicities, or as I like to call the Father's little ha-ha moments. It just shows he has a sense of humor. But anyhow, as Richie would say, I digress. What I think happens, first of all, I have no clue, zero clue what happens after what I'm going to tell you I know happens. So basically what I know happens when we die, or maybe not necessarily at the moment of death. I'm not even going to get into that debate. But when the time comes, when we all end up in one place, and this is what I was saying Saturday, and I sort of got misunderstood. But photo. But basically we all end up in the same place. And by that I mean we all end up at that final judgment. So we all end up in front of the judge. What happens to the person that sold their soul and truly believes they sold it when they come in front of that judge? Now that's where I can just say, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not the judge. I can tell you what happened when I think I came mighty close to that judge, which is basically what happened my whole testimony, my turning around point. I know what it feels like to be judged. Believe me. So I think I sort of maybe got to experience it before death. I don't know. I'm just saying I know what happened to me. And when I got there and realized how guilty I was, you're just done. You're down. There's no excuse. There's nothing you can say to change the fact of how guilty you are. Nothing. So you basically, I mean, at least in my case, there was no words. There was just sorrow. And then immediately he reminded me of his son. I've said this before in my testimony. And that it was already forgiven. Don't worry about it. Remember who my son is and what he did for you. And then I was just overwhelmed with this feeling of love. So is that what's going to happen to them? I don't know. Was I as guilty as that person? Absolutely. I mean, I was as guilty as any person for anything. There is no level of sin. I was guilty. In fact, I had been right there in the sell your soul market. You know what I mean? So I can't say what's going to happen to them. I don't know how it all ends up in the end. And I don't know where we end up after that judgment. I'm still here. But I definitely feel like I at least got a tinkling of what that judgment's going to feel like. And it ain't pretty. You will bow. I guarantee you bow. You bow instantly. You don't even, yeah, there is no even thought about nothing. You bow. So I don't know what's going to happen to them. I don't know what's going to happen to any of us because that ain't my idea to know. There's heaven, there's hell. We're taught about that. What's it mean? I don't know. We could discuss it for days. There's millions of viewpoints. Do you burn forever? Do you get sank? Do you get corrected? Who knows? I don't know. It's not my job to know. It's my job to try to make sure I don't got to worry about that. And the only way I can do that is to try to listen to everything Jesus told me to do and do it to the best of my ability. And then maybe, just maybe, when I fall, I can fall with a little more pride than I had the last time. Because the last time I fell, well, pride isn't a good word either. Not pride, but what's a good word? Just security. Security in the fact that he ain't seeing me anyway. He's seeing Jesus. So I don't know. I don't know how to put it in any better words. So I don't know what's going to happen to anybody when they get to that judgment day. But I sort of know what happened to me if that was the judgment day. And I'll tell you what, if it wasn't, wow. Because I don't know how I could feel any more judgment about what I was.
I can, if I had a thought on that, the first word that comes to my mind is repercussions for actions, for decisions you make. And I mean, I'm sure that you do. I mean, the the proverbial pearly gates. I mean, I'm sure that that you get there, and you have, there's the list of all the good and bad that you've done, and does it, I don't know how it all works as far as, one weighing against the other, and access granted or denied. But I would say that repercussions have a way while you're here still of settling into the earth, and as the sun sets on the horizon, the next morning brings those repercussions. It might not hit you. It might not hit you right at the moment that you make the bad choice, or that you choose the wrong angle, or you play a dishonest card. But it has a way of always coming and rooting itself up when it's really absolutely necessary for you to learn the error of your ways. I think that a lot of the teachings are in front of us, and the things we have to come to deal with when we make these bad decisions. They have a way of putting us in situations that make us second guess the next time that we're faced with that with a moral dilemma, so to speak. So I don't know. I think that there is going to be. I don't really know the answer to what happens after you die, but I know that while I'm still living, I deal with bad. I have to deal with the repercussions of bad decisions the same way I get the glory of enjoying the right decisions I made as well. So I think there's a lot to be said for both accounts.
Yeah, I happen to agree with that. Can everybody hear me, by the way?
Yep, welcome back, Hebrew. And let me just shout out real quick Reigning Redemption, who showed up in the house. Two of my favorite people, man. If you guys ain't subscribed to that channel, you're missing a lot of spiritual food. I'll guarantee. If you don't subscribe to Reigning Redemption, I don't know if you're really on a spiritual walk, because it's nothing but spiritual over there. And also, Spiritual Vapor, Do It Yourself, Ormus Elements is here. So shout out to them. Welcome back, Hebrew.
Yeah.
Hey, I think I'll subscribe to them that you mentioned.
Oh, I highly recommend it, brother. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, we should
Nothing.
definitely
Nothing.
maybe drop a link in the chat room there if you want to.
Well, they're right there. If you click the three dots beside. Oh, you guys can't see the chat. That's right.
No.
I'll get you a link for it in our Shifty Sunday hangout when it's over.
Sounds good to me.
Everyone else in the chat, yeah, easily just click the three dots by their name, right click it, and go to their channel. And yeah, you want some spiritual meat. That's, man, I love that channel. Every time I see a Reigning Redemption video, it's like, yes. And I'm so far behind. I'm hoping there's a couple coming up I ain't seen yet. So yeah, awesome people, great people.
And I'll tell you real quick on Saji what he said. I couldn't listen to the whole thing because something happened. The nurse came in and was taking my blood sugar and all that business. And but I'll agree with you, man. You got into some deep discussion there. You were talking about, and in God's armor, you were talking about your journey down this road. You're talking about the judgment, and you knew that you were in the judgment. I'll tell you, man, that's something to think about when we do stuff. Is there's an account of everything we do. As far as the way I believe it is, there's an account of everything that we do, and we are literally paying for our sins. You know how you hear people say you pay for your sins, and I truly believe that we do pay for our sins. There's so many toes of sin, and I'm not saying that if you do good, you're taken off a sin, or you're taking off the you're paying the debt. But there's a lot of people that do say, you know, there's a lot of people I hear them say all the time, and when they do a good deed here or there, that they're putting the crown, or the what's that thing called on the crown? Um, they're putting the star on their crown when they do a good deed. I don't know if any of you heard that saying or not, but I hear it all the time, and I truly think that I don't think that when we do good deeds that we're necessarily doing that, but because like you said, it doesn't matter what you do. A sin is a sin, and you're going to be accountable for it. You sow what you reap. You make your bed, you lie in it. But I think as long as we are sorry, truly sorry, not just say it and then do it over and over again, you know, because you're not truly sorry if you're doing it that way. But I think that's how we pay atone for our sins also, in the way is a sort of way of taking off that debt, that debit, as it were, is to just repent, or at least that's in my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Well, absolutely. And one thing I can add, hold on, I'm trying to get reigning redemption for the people in the chat. um, there we go. Is the judgment I was feeling, and like I said, this is my opinion. This is just what happened to me. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen to anyone else. But it was more me judging me than, I mean, the Father didn't really say nothing. He didn't have to. And as I said in my testimony video, which is back there a while back, I think it's called Wolves in Sheep's Clothing Part 2, my testimony, because that isn't what it was supposed to be, but that's what it was. So the Spirit does what it wants. But anyhow, I basically said about how I totally understood in my human mind how a loving, just Father should literally throw me in whatever hell is, whether that's burning, whatever. I understood how there was nothing else he could possibly do. Why would there was no way I should be in heaven, or whatever you want to call it, in paradise, because why would you want me there? You know what I mean? This was all going through me. This was like a matter of seconds, but these are all the things I was thinking. How could you know? There's no way you could let me in there. Not after all this. And that's when, like I said, immediately it was like, he was like, well, you forgot about my son. And basically, and you can only use human terms, pointing me at his son, but he didn't point. It isn't like that. But immediately I just felt the love. Like I said, it was unreal. But Father didn't judge me. I judged myself. I wanted to go to whatever the bad thing is. Call it hell, call it eternal fire, whatever. I knew I should go there. I knew there was no thought in my mind to go anywhere else. That's why I was instantly down. It's like, well, I'm done. I understood how there's no way I should be anywhere else. But then Father definitely wasn't the one making me feel that way. I was reaping what I was sowing, I guess, is a way to put it. I don't know. Like I said, and it's all just my opinion from what I experienced. I have no clue what anyone else experiences or happens or is going to happen. But it's definitely what happened to me. And the weirdest part is, it was me judging me. It was me. And maybe that was the repentance. I don't know. Like I said, it was all so fast. But it was real. I knew I knew I had done wrong. I definitely repented from everything I'd done, but I also at the same time figured it's too late. There's nowhere else I should go when this is over. Not after everything I did, not after purposely working for the enemy, knowingly working for the enemy. I mean, come on. But boom, that isn't the way the Father thought at all. He just said, you forgot about my son and what he did. None of that matters. None of that matters. So I don't know. That's all I can add to that. But I just wanted to make sure to add the part that it isn't like the Father judged me. Not the way I felt at all. Father didn't say nothing. I judged me. I immediately fell. When you come into the presence of that holiness, that whatever you want to call it, there's no words for any of this. But when you come into that, when you feel that, when you're there, yeah. Like Photo said earlier in the chat, there's nothing that's going to be hid. You'll be accountable for everything, but you're the one that's holding yourself accountable. At least at that moment in time, for me, it was. The Father wasn't holding me accountable. I was.
I see.
So
that's interesting.
Again, that's just what I experienced.
I never really thought of it that way before or heard of it explained that way. That's something to think about. Like you're holding yourself accountable.
Because
that's the thing about your own conscience is it comes into play. I mean, unless you can literally make your conscience forget, you're always going to know, what you did right and what you did wrong, and the thoughts that you were thinking how much malice was behind those decisions.
Yeah, exactly. And you have no choice. Believe me, there was no. Yeah, you instantly judge yourself. You instantly realize how far from him you are. I'll guarantee you instantly realize you're not even in the same ballpark. You're not even close. You're not even on the same field. You're not even in the same universe. You are so far below him. Yeah. Like I said, and again, it's blowing my mind because it's the same stuff I'm saying Wednesday. If you watch the Wednesday Word, you're going to hear some of this.
Oh, wow.
But you will bow. You bow.
So we seem to have a knack for doing that, hitting those points.
Yeah. I used to do it sometimes, and now you're doing it, Sag. You're guessing.
Well, it's kind of like I think literally it's what's in the air. We're all breathing, the same energy. We're all feeding off the same purpose. I think
so.
we share when we share our conscious thoughts like this. It's bound to kind of like, I don't know how to put it into words, but kind of if we're all using the same compass and we all have the same magnetic north, and we're all going to end up, and we're all trying to get to a destination. Hopefully we'll find ourselves in favorable currents, and we'll see your ship sitting there right next to mine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's one spirit. So one spirit with one mission. So yeah, if we're all tuned into the same spirit, well,
so you guys want to hear my short story real quick, and then we'll open up the phone lines?
Oh, I was just getting ready to ask that. Wow, talk about being within one spirit. Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite time of the show. It's story time with Saji.
All right, can you guys hear me okay?
God's Armor, you have any music to cue up?
Oh, I don't have any handy. Darn.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. We'll wing it this time. Well, with us, kind of like a sub chapter of what we're talking about is love. If nothing else, love for the Father. And I couldn't think of a better story than this one. All right. It's called Box Full of Kisses. Some time ago, a man punished his 3-year-old daughter for wasting a roll of gold wrapping paper. Money was tight, and he became infuriated when the child tried to decorate a box to put it under the Christmas tree. Nevertheless, the little girl brought the gift to her father the next morning and said, "This is for you, Daddy." The man became embarrassed by his overreaction earlier, but his rage continued when he saw that the box was empty. He yelled at her, "Don't you know when you give someone a present, there's supposed to be something inside the box?" The little girl looked up at him with tears in her eyes and cried, "Oh, Daddy, it's not empty at all. I blew kisses into the box, and they're all for you, Daddy." The father was crushed. He put his arms around the little girl, and he begged her for forgiveness. Only a short time later, an accident took the life of his child. Her father kept the gold box by his bed for many years. Whenever he was discouraged, he would take out an imaginary kiss and remember the love of the child who had put it there.
Well, that's gonna make me cry, dude.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, but it's definitely got a good moral, which is, love is the most precious gift you can give somebody. It's way better than a new smartphone. Just saying.
True. Yeah, that was sad. Sad but beautiful, I guess.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to bring the whole mood down. I thought, maybe we can get some lively callers to liven us back up.
Okay, we can hope. Let me grab the number. Hold on. Where do I got the number? Somewhere I got the number. Oh, there. Call in number. Duh. That would probably be it.
So, just a proverbial question here while you do that. I'm dating this. So hypothetically speaking, I've been dating this girl for 6 months. It's coming around the holidays. She's been hinting that the new iPhone just came out. Hint, hint. She's probably expecting me to buy her that for Christmas. Is what I'm gathering. And I hand her a box full of kisses. Tell her that it looks empty, but it's full of kisses. Do you think she's going to be so happy that I gave her that instead of the new smartphone?
I think it'd be a good way to find out if she's a keeper, but that's just my opinion.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
definitely.
Lorraine wants to know where you get these stories from. Tear jerkers or us?
That was the number one story out of like 15 short. It's like a collection of 15 short stories that that everybody should hear. That was the number one rated one.
Shoot, I forgot to open the phone lines. Hold on. I put the number out. Let me get this.
Well, while you do that, I can do one more. It's a little bit. Okay, there you go.
Sorry about that.
How you holding up over there?
I'm not yawning. I'm not yawning because you're boring me. Just saying.
All right. We
How's
do
the
have a
chat
caller
moving up over there?
We do have a caller. Well, I can't watch StreamYard and the chat, and so
I can go to chat if you want to do the call.
Oh, that's
okay. I'm gonna have to go to Uber conference so I can see when people come in. So someone may have to. All right, hold on. Let me pop out this chat. I can do it the old-fashioned way. Just got to get it together.
Well, caller Red Pill said she would have the small gift as a backup for the box of kisses. So that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, go with the box of kisses first, see the reaction. Go ahead and give her the phone on her way out if she don't like it. I mean, I'm just these are options. Okay, we do have a caller though. Oh, we got holy moly, we got 2 callers. So
I'm gonna have to put myself on mute. I'm beeping over here.
the first caller is Cleveland, Tennessee. Oh man, you're on the line with Hebrew and the
Sounds
rest
like
of
photo.
It's Photo Helix.
That's who I thought it was. I heard that Tennessee. I knew it was you, man. How you doing, brother?
How y'all doing? Doing good. Can I tell you something real quick?
All right, real quick.
Just real quick. You know how I'm long-winded anyway. No, when you was telling the story about the girl and the kisses, and the dad was so mad at her, I honest to goodness thought you was going to tell us the kisses had been poisoned.
poison kisses.
Ain't that horrible?
Yeah, that would be a diabolical story.
It would, wouldn't it? Yeah, I guess that wouldn't be a love story, would it?
No, I don't think so. Uh-oh.
There's a little bit of a delay. A little bit of delay. I did want to ask, Sagittarically speaking, a question.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
With the name Sagittarically, is it because of the Sagittarian arm, or is it because you're a Sagittarius?
Actually, both apply.
Well, the reason I was asking is you remember back in 2011 when Obama announced that we were going to open back up to the 13th zodiac with Ophiuchus, and that changed a lot of the folks. Our what do you call it? Our
Their astrology, their horoscopes and stuff.
yeah, the zodiac sign. You know, everybody's born at a certain time of year under a particular star setup. You know, like Sagittarian. My wife's a Sagittarius. That's why I'm mentioning that. But a lot of people, when they added the 13th one with Ophiuchus, the snake handler, interestingly enough, then we start seeing the people's dates change because they condensed. So now a lot of people who are Sagittarius aren't Sagittarius any longer. And that goes for all of them, from Capricorn to Aquarius or whatever the case may be. It's a changing of times and laws, if you will. A part of that.
Well, you've sparked my curiosity. I'm going to look it up and see if it still applies, Sagittarically speaking.
Yeah, you may have to change it to something else. What comes after Sagittarius? Or are you at the early stage of it or the later stage? Or in the middle? If you're in the middle, you're probably okay.
So I wonder if I'm still a Gemini. Interesting.
Well, you might be. There's a little bit of a delay in there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, or Armor Up, how you doing, brother?
Good, brother. So good to hear from you. Awesome.
Hey, photo.
You get your mug all the time. You know that, right?
What's that?
I said I get to look at your mug all the time. You know that, right?
Oh, the mug. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I get to see you because of I'm working on the movie thing, so I've got a lot of footage of you there I'm working with.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I can't wait for that to come out. That's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm excited to get done as soon as I can, sure enough. Yeah, Carla said there's an echo, so I don't know if it's how it's moving through or if I'm coming on the speaker. I'm not sure how that's working.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because I forget to mute when I ain't talking. As long as I mute, there's no echo.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Well, apparently the Sagittarius dates are the 22nd of November through December 21st. So I'm about 5 days in. I think I'm safe.
Well, yeah, you'll be all right. But remember now, you got to look at it from the 13th zodiac with Ophiuchus in there because it squished up some of the dates on there. So But they did that. There was, at that time that they did it, there was a lot of different things. One of the countries actually lost an entire day because of the reset of time, the way they were doing it. Now, it didn't go into the mainstream media, but you can look all these things up. I can't remember the country and which one it was. It was one of the colder places, like an Arctic kind of thing. But when they switched the timing, and remember, we were saying in 2008 about them firing up for the first time with the CERN project and some of the stuff they were doing. And there was a big to-do with this whole clock and the unleashing of relative time on the unsuspecting public. That was their words. And the guy that was in the wheelchair, I can't remember his name, the scientist, he's passed now. He was there for the unveiling of this clock, the Corpus Christi clock. And it's a giant locust time meter, as they call it. And at that time, when that was going on, and in 2011, they did the Ophiuchus introduction so that we had 13 zodiac. And then the whole loss of a day because they changed the time laws. And then remember, we used to have daylight savings time. And a lot of us, I guess probably the whole nation now here anyway, they stopped doing daylight saving. They don't jump forward or spring forward and fall back anymore. Now it's just one set time. And all of these things have been done to make up for the time that was gained or lost or however the case may be. But we have to still remember, with all of the things we're seeing, at least in the Mandela effect community, we know that Christ said that for the elect's sake, those days would be shortened. And when we see what's going on, we're aware that, you know, things are happening at an unprecedented time. I mean, it's just when we do stuff in the day, there's not enough hours in the day. Something that used to take 2 or 3 hours now seems to take 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, in some cases, you know what I mean? And I know time is relative, but ultimately there has been time fluctuations, and we're seeing, along with the manipulation of matter and the resetting of historical events and the lion and the lamb and all of these things that we're seeing with the changes, it's also working against us with time. And most people aren't realizing exactly what all's going on. And they've stated at CERN, at their facility, that if time travel or at least time manipulation were in some way possible, that they would be able to find it there at what they're doing and the kinds of experiments that are running. But that's not the only place they're doing it. And people don't realize how big, like Fermilab, there's 17 national labs in the United States alone. Now, we're not counting the world labs, but they're studying everything from the ionosphere to our brains and the brain initiative and all of these different things. And then we want to question, well, why does the whole world, the majority, not see the changes that we see? And it's a pretty simple answer if we look at 2 Thessalonians. But again, not everybody likes to go with the scriptures. But me, you guys know I'm a Bible guy. I'm just like you guys on the channel here. And I've been in agreement with everything you've said so far. And I do want to say this before I go, because all I'm doing is throwing out stuff for you to talk about and people to consider with time. But I do want to say with Armour Up, when he was talking about how before God, you know, you're going to bow. That's a guarantee. For those of us that have had those kinds of experiences in a supernatural situation where God's given us that vision or given us an encounter, if you will, I guarantee you that every guilt, every dirt, everything that comes up in you, no matter how good you think you are, it comes up as pure filth and guilt in the presence of God, in the presence of spiritual truth and love. He's righteous, and none of us are worthy, I'll tell you. But he's all love. That's the whole point. When you encounter love, you realize just how much dirt and hate is in us, in this flesh.
Amen.
Not by our choice, not that we mean to be, because we can go out and tell everybody we love them. We can hug everybody's neck and give everybody everything we own, and still refuse God's gift, and it's going to cost us at that judgment. And that's a case of fact. But the majority don't want to give God credit for anything anymore. But ultimately, when you're in his presence, when you really have that, if you do something wrong, he shows you automatically, man. And you know in your spirit, and it's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing how wonderful and gracious and perfect that God is, and how much he loves everybody. And this is the thing, you know, I know it says many are called, but few are chosen. But ultimately, the invitation goes out to all the world. And if they would just believe upon him. And again, I mentioned in the chat room, it's never even entered the minds of man what God has in store for those that love him. If it's never even entered into our mind, I mean, we're talking, we can conceive AI, artificial intelligence. We can conceive all kinds of different wonderful scientific technologies and move ahead in so many directions. We can imagine, just like in the story of the love story of the box and how we imagine even a kiss of something past. We can imagine some crazy things. The majority imagine vain things, unfortunately. But the truth of the matter is that even though we have such great imaginations, it's never even entered into our minds, the concept, not even once. It's impossible for man to know the ways of God and to understand how much true, pure love really is. And there is no fear. This is the thing. This is the thing, and I'll let go. There is no fear in perfect love at all. None. And God Almighty, creator of all things, our Father in heaven, is perfect love. I love you guys.
Hey, Photo, real quick before you get off of here real quick, I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here for a minute, but I just want to let you know.
Okay.
I'm brand new. Well, I'm brand new here. You don't know who I am, and I realize that, but I just want to let you know that you're the reason why I got started in the first place.
Oh, are you serious, brother?
Yeah.
Well, man, that talk about a humbling moment there. Yeah, you put me on the spot, didn't you?
Well, I warned you.
I love that. Well, I do. I love you so much. And, man, hey, listen, I want to get Armor up in there in my show. I've started doing a new live stream thing called The Hot Seat. Maybe I could have you on there, brother. Come in and be a guest on my show.
It would be a pleasure to be on there with you.
Well, listen, you drop me an email. My email's PhotoHelix, no capital letters. I don't like capital letters in my name. I don't deserve that much. Okay. So no capitals. Just PhotoHelix@yahoo.com.
That's
and drop
easy
me
to
an email
remember.
so we can get in touch. I'll swap numbers with you, okay?
All right.
I'm excited to talk to you.
Yeah, man, I've been watching your videos from the beginning.
Say it again.
I said I've been watching your videos and from the beginning. I remember when you were with Dan doing the live streams. You and Dan started out the Saturday, the speakeasy.
After hours, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still talk to Dan every now and then, sure enough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he texted me the other night. We was talking back and forth. I told him I'd try and get him on the show, but he don't like cameras real well.
Right.
But listen, sure enough, man, you keep me in your prayers now. You hear me? And no matter what, you remember this though, okay? I'm gonna give you a word of advice. Is that okay? Can I do that?
Oh, sure. I'm open.
Because I was always told if somebody don't ask for advice, you don't give it.
All right.
So let me give you this word of advice, or at least encouragement, if I can, and that's this, okay? I appreciate that you're telling me that that maybe I helped do something or say something that's helped point you in the right direction, and I appreciate that, okay? But give God the thanks and not me, one. And number two, if you forget me, you ain't lost nothing, brother. as long as you don't forget God and don't forget the journey you're on. What you've started now, go full force with all your heart, mind, body, and soul, and give all the thanks and praise and glory to our Father in heaven, for only He is the one worthy of that, okay?
Absolutely.
And don't let nobody or anything take away your memories or what you're doing for the Lord. You go full force and don't look back. And Armor Up, I think, will agree with me on everything I just said to you.
Amen, brother, for sure. And I agree with everything you said earlier, too. It's no doubt. And like you said,
I'm going to jump off here because I know you got another caller waiting. And I've been enjoying listening to the show. I'm going to try and start getting over here more often. Y'all here pretty regular, ain't you?
Yeah, every Sunday night, Father willing.
What time you start every Sunday? Is it 8 o'clock?
9 o'clock our time, 9 Eastern.
9 o'clock. You're 9 Eastern. Okay. Well, I'm glad I found you and caught you all tonight, and I'll get off here and listen to the rest of the show.
Yeah, and I wanted to make sure we mentioned too. Yeah, I noticed I'm so far behind in my videos, but I did just see the first hot seat video you did with Richie, and I noticed you're doing a new series, so that's awesome. Everyone, make sure you sub to Photo.
I want to apologize to anybody that had to sit through that one. My sound and audio was awful, but I've got a new sound set up. So the next hot seat I did was with my wife. So if you got a chance to see that, watch me. I put Shell in the hot seat. She agreed to do it, and so she's in the hot seat and did the whole deal with me. She went in there, got on the phone, and so it was a really neat show. That one was good, and we were testing out the audio and everything. We answered a lot of questions to the people in the audience and stuff, and we had almost 370, I think. There was 370 people in that chat room. It was unreal, man. Well, not the night. Now, the night I did me and the wife, I think it was 150 something. Yeah. 150.
Awesome.
See, they all come to hear Richie. They didn't want to come here, huh?
Oh, I'd rather be tuning in for the Shelley myself, but that's just me.
Well, you'd enjoy it, brother. You'd enjoy it.
I'll definitely be watching it. And I'll bet your seat ended up getting warm before it was over.
Yeah, it was, and listen, we got the audio and the microphone going real good and stuff. So definitely check that one out with her. Next Wednesday, or this coming Wednesday, we're going to have, Friday night I talked to Awakened Saint. I had him on there Friday night, and it was because of his schedule, so we threw one in there. But next Wednesday, or this Wednesday coming up, there's a lady called Shell Time. She used to be Shell Time Adventure, or Shell's Adventures.
I know Shell.
Down there this Wednesday, and then I'm trying to get it where I might be able to do 1 or 2 shows a week. But sure enough, y'all come over there and look at it. I am working on that movie. I'm trying to get that out of post now and get it out there so we can put it out for the public. Sure enough, but when I get that out, Armor Up, by the way, you can post that as your own because you're in it, so you might as well own it. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Yep. I'll be proud to.
Definitely. Okay,
I know it's going to be good.
I love all 3 of you, and get back to this wonderful conversation. I want to say hi to everybody in the chat room. I love all of you, and you guys know that. But go over and check out when I put Shelley in the hot seat. She did good, man. She was a nervous wreck about it, and I got to thinking. I even warned the people. I said, "How many of y'all know put your wife in the hot seat live?" That put me in a bad spot, didn't it?
I was going to say, I'll bet your seat was the one getting warm before it was over.
It was. I was squirming, man. She turned it around on me a little bit. Oh, that's funny. And they were even asking her, they said, "Well, is Photo's talking his sleep?" It was a good show. It was fun. Okay, well, listen, I'm going to get off here so your callers can get in. I don't want to hide out.
All right. Yep, we got another one waiting. Well, send my love to the family as always, Photo, and definitely keep me in your prayers as I keep you in mind. So,
brother, I do. I do. That ain't no kidding. You're in my prayers every day, brother. And I say my prayers. You're one of them for sure that goes up. And again, I've been seeing your mug working on this movie and stuff. And every time I listen to that poem, I about go to tears, brother. And
Yeah, that was
you know,
pure spirit. I'm not that creative. That was definitely
I just
inspired.
want you to know I really love you, and I'm glad I got to catch y'all on here tonight. Sure enough. And y'all keep me in your prayers, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
All righty, thank you very much. Love.
All right, love you.
All right, we have Toledo, Ohio next, and then Wooster, Ohio, following after that. So Wooster, hang tight. Toledo, Ohio, you're live.
Is it me?
It's me. Well, not me, but is this my sister? I thought so. I seen two Ohios. I'm like, oh, I think I know who they might be. I can't wait for either one of them. So awesome. How you doing, sister?
Okay. Well, I gotta. First of all, I love you guys on the track room, and praise God, you guys are just family to me. Every one of you, and I want to thank God for this thing tonight. Now, what I got three things that I want to bring up, and I want to get all three of your opinion on it. Okay. First opinion or first thing, the Noahide laws. You can make it short and sweet. Second thing, about Antarctica. What do you think's going on there? Okay. And three, what was the third one? Let me think. What do you guys think about Zionist? Okay.
Well,
So,
question 1 and 3 sort of tie together.
yeah, kind of. Yeah. So just two questions, I guess.
All right. Do one of you guys want to go first? I went first on the last question. So,
What was the first question? She kind of cut out there on my end.
The first question was, what do you guys think about the Noahide laws? You can make it short and sweet. You don't have to go really deep into it.
Oh, I don't really. Sag, what do you think?
What law is she referring to? I'm not even sure I know what she's saying.
the Noahide law.
What
Have
is
you
the
got-
Noahide law?
Okay. Well, I know what she's talking about. Of course, we've talked about this before, actually, privately. And maybe even, yeah, that's what came up on our live show, I think. Yeah, that's what you and Kim did the live with me about. But the Noahide laws are basically, look them up or go watch the show that we did together, me, her, and Kim. It'll explain it deeply to you. It's on my channel. But basically, they're laws that the quote unquote Israelites or Jews, well, at least a certain group of them. Basically, they're sort of hard to explain in a nutshell. But basically, in my opinion, they look good on the outside. They sound great. But when you stop to think about what they're actually saying, they're a way that to stop us from claiming Jesus as the Son of God and worshiping Jesus the way we do. Because according to Noahide laws, that would be blaspheming the one true God. And also under the Noahide laws, all it takes is me or anyone saying you did something wrong and it's punishable. One witness, by beheading. One person, whether they can be making it totally up a lie and can say you did something to break one of these laws, and it's beheading. And it's the laws basically that are, I mean, like I said, you'd have to research it. It's a very, very
Well, here,
deep.
I looked it up while you were talking, and there's 7 of them. The first
Right.
one is not to worship idols. The second one is not to curse God. The third one is to establish courts of justice. Number 4, not to commit murder. Number 5, not to commit adultery, bestiality, or sexual immorality. Number 6, not to steal. And number 7, not to eat flesh torn from a living animal.
Correct.
Yep. And they all sound good
Yeah.
on the surface.
They all
And
sound
like-
good. They all
Like
sound
Photo
good.
said, they're the same laws that got Jesus crucified. Basically, absolutely. The same laws that got
And
Jesus
the
crucified.
Pharisee, Yep.
Yep. And basically, the fact that one is
what
don't.
they are. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the fact that the first two don't worship idols. Well, to them, Jesus is an idol. You got to keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So we're instantly breaking the laws doing what we're doing right now. So we would be beheaded if these laws ever came into effect.
They're already in effect. Armor up. And people
Well,
don't know it.
Yeah, but they're not in effect in America yet.
They're actually in education law. And it is. And what they're trying to do is to bring that up to the forefront.
Well, it's basically going to be the one world religion law, is what it boils down to. The Noahide laws is going to be the religion that we're all pushed to.
Right.
Huh? And it's funny that I had never heard of it until just now, but now I'm really intrigued by it.
They keep it very secret, and that's why Tina and Kim did a very important message that I let them do on my channel. They did on their channel. I mean, we tried to get the word out to everyone we possibly could because it's a real deal and it's serious and it's not going to be good when they kick it in.
Well, the way it's described here on Wikipedia is the 7 laws of Noah, also referred to as the Noahide laws or the Noahide laws from the Hebrew pronunciation of Noah, are a set of imperatives which, according to the Talmud, were given by God as a binding set of laws for the children of Noah, that is, all of humanity. And according to Jewish tradition, non-Jews who adhere to these laws because they were given by Moses are said to be followers of Noahidism and regarded as righteous Gentiles who are assured a place in Olam Haba, the world to come, the final reward of the righteous. The 7 laws of Noah include prohibitions against worshiping idols, cursing God, murder, adultery, and sexual immorality, theft, eating flesh torn from a living animal as well, and as the obligation to establish the courts of justice. So the next question is, what is the judiciary or the courts of justice? I mean, we were just talking earlier about judging or not judging. The system of courts that interprets and applies the law in a country, state, or international community. I mean, it seems like this is some pretty big deal stuff here.
It is. It really is. And what is in every county? Okay, I want to ask you guys, what is in every county? Every part of the United States?
A courthouse.
Mason lodges in every county.
Oh yeah, they designated one to be in every county. You're right. I've heard that many times. That it's hard to find a county that doesn't have at least some way, shape, or form, some form of a Masonic lodge. That is, over generally speaking, a true statement.
Mm-hmm. And like I said before, there's like those 7 laws, but if you go in deep, there's like 2,000 subtitles to go with those laws.
Oh wow! So there's little. So it's really there's a lot more to it than just the 7 basic laws.
Yes, yes. What it is, short and simple. The 7 known high laws didn't exist. Man made it up. The 10 commandments is what we stick to. Because it comes from the Talmud, which is the Kabbalah, basically. So,
Yeah, it all
there you
ties
have
right
it.
back into Kabbalism and
Yeah.
early Gnosticism.
Yeah. So, and the other question is, what do you guys think about Antarctica? And what do you think's there? I know I got my opinion about it. I think everybody's there. All the nations are there. It's they got everything signed, agreement that they won't fight there. Okay. I think they found some of the fallen angels or the watchers down there. But that's my opinion. Okay. So you guys go ahead and talk about you 3 about that. I just want to say I love you guys. I really, really am enjoying this conversation you guys are having. And thank you. And if Armor Up could put all the other two's pages up for so I could go and subscribe to them and put the bell on, I would appreciate it. So I love you guys all in the chat, and God bless you all. Bye-bye now.
Love you much, sister. You guys go ahead and start with Antarctica now. I know you both have an opinion on Antarctica. And I'll go ahead and throw the Warriors Call, my other channel, in the chat. And because obviously, Tina, you got the Armor Up when you're here. So I'll throw my backup channel in the chat for those of you that want it. And on that channel right now, I'm doing a series. It's not for everyone, so be advised. It's talking about why I asked for prayers for the children. It's showing all the bad things that's been done to the children over the decades and are continuing to be done. So watch it if you think you can. It's not easy to watch. It's just pure truth, and it's quite ugly. But go ahead and talk about Antarctica, guys. I'm going to mute up for a second, and I'll be back.
All right. I'm unmuted. Sorry. Antarctica. Wow, that's a big one. You know, most people who go to Antarctica, you know that you go to New Zealand, and there's a specific part of New Zealand that you have to go to, which is the closest landmass to Antarctica, and it's coincidentally called Christ Church. Can't make this stuff up, I know. But you have a lot of people have been there recently. I think the day that President Trump was being inaugurated, the Dems sent John Kerry down there to Antarctica. I know that Bill Clinton has recently been. Great Britain's Prince Harry and the royal family made a special trip down there in November of 2013. I mean, anybody that's the who's who of political dominance or religious control has either been or will shortly be at Antarctica. And the reason they always give for visiting there is to take pictures, take pictures on the ice with some penguins, because the only thing you see down there in Antarctica is a few species of penguins, and really that's about it. And maybe maybe like a polar bear or two might. I don't know. I think they're in the North Pole. To be honest with you, I don't think there's really a whole lot to see in Antarctica. But for some reason, anybody who's special ends up going there, and on peculiar dates as well. And the cover
Sure.
story is always just to have pictures taken with penguins, which we know the people don't travel all the way through Christchurch of New Zealand down to
No.
Antarctica just to have their picture taken with a penguin. So there really is a deeper reason why they're all going. And I mean, I'm familiar with all the different Admiral Byrd concepts and the different operations, the paperclip, the fish bowl. I forget all the different names of them, but there's definitely there's Antarctica is where it's all happening. That's where yeah, people talk about this disclosure thing that's quote unquote going to happen. I don't know that disclosure is ever really going to take place in the sense that it's going to be on the White House lawn of the president telling us everything that we thought we knew is a lie. I think it's going to come more in the form of rude awakenings and people being forced to realize, and the media being forced to cover it because you can no longer hide it. I don't think it's going to be in the form of a press conference. I think it's going to be more in the form of chaos and mayhem. But I think whatever disclosure is coming, it's going to have something to do with Antarctica. And I digress. Go ahead, Hebrew. Did I lose you?
We lost the Hebrew. Did he
All
warp
right, go
out?
ahead, Armor. Then it's your turn.
Oh, well, basically, yeah. I mean, what can you say about Antarctica? I can't even begin to say what's going on there. I have no clue. But like you, there's no doubt there's something going on there. Whether they're in touch with some of the fallen watchers, highly possible. I mean, they're getting this technology from somewhere, and we know that's what the watchers like to do. They like to give the technology. So, I mean, it's highly possible. I won't count it out. Um, are there UFOs, which basically is the same thing down there? Possible. I don't count it out. All I know is there's definitely something weird about Antarctica that they don't want us to know or see or even go to. So who knows? Who knows what's going on there? But there's no doubt something's going on there. No doubt at all. What it is, your guess is as good as mine.
The part that really gets me is that because it's really more open for speculation than there is anybody with any concrete evidence as to what's really happening at this exact moment. But what gets me is these people who create and devote entire channels to the speculation of what's going on in Antarctica with these crazy claims, like everything from the blue aliens to this to that to this to that, where they're actually getting like large amounts of people to subscribe and send money for them to sit there and tell you fishing tales of what they think's going on in Antarctica when they don't have any better clue as to UNRI. There is no secret organization of whistleblowers leaving Antarctica telling us what's really going on. Whatever's really going on is under wraps, and we're not going to know until whatever's down there decides it wants us to know. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, what else can you say? Whatever's going on, I don't think any of us know at the moment, and I don't think we'll ever will know as long as they're in control. Whatever it is, they sure are keeping it very, very secret. So who knows? I mean,
And it's
photos going
funny
out.
because I mean, even if you go back to Admiral Byrd when he did that interview with the newspaper, I think it was a New Zealand newspaper or New Zealand media agency, where he said that he saw things that some of the comments he made, they immediately suppressed that, and then they put him under a gag order. He was not allowed to talk about it, and then it was shortly after he died that they finally put out his diaries and left it speculative as to whether they were actual authentic diaries or not. That in itself I mean, it's enough to make you scratch your head and wonder what's really going on. Simply
Well,
because he was the only guy to ever actually be there to see it firsthand, because he flew his plane over it.
and also, Michelle brings up a good point. Welcome to the chat, by the way, Michelle's. And everyone else, we'll have to do a shout out in a bit. But we do have a caller waiting we don't want to forget. But Michelle says, what about when the astronaut went down there and had to be rushed to the hospital and he was freaking out about what he's seeing? And yeah,
That was Buzz, wasn't it?
No. Was it Buzz? I don't remember. I thought it was a different one.
I'll look it up while we take the next caller, and I'll tell you afterwards.
All right, cool. But yeah, let's go ahead and take the next caller. Wooster, Ohio. You are live.
What's up, man? Scotty E.
I thought it was the E team. I seen Ohio. It was like, gotta be Tina and the E team. The S&S. Good to hear from you, brother.
Oh, man, how you guys doing today? Great show.
Awesome. Thank you.
Man, you know, I just want to add real quick on Antarctica and Noah Hyde, man. You know, you said that, the fallen ones, with all this global warming, we all be able to see them soon, man.
Yeah, they're going to sink or swim.
Oh, man, that's what I think about that. But didn't Enoch flee? Did he go there when he was raptured? I'm not quite sure on that. In the book of Enoch?
Well, I don't know if it really says, I mean, it don't really say he went per se to Antarctica.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know I've heard that theory and I know where you're coming from. And again, something I have no clue. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah. Same boat, man. No clue. Personally, man, my thought on the Noah Hyde, bring the guillotines, man. Go ahead and do it and get it over with.
Well,
I mean, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, when I think of that, and actually, I don't know. I ain't going to use the term vision, but when I've thought about that and thought about the guillotines and revelations and, their heads will be cut off and that ties right into it and all that. And the Noahide laws then coming out and the beheading being the punishment and all that. What are they going to do if they start this crap and they get a real son or daughter of the father up there and strap them down and hit that little rope or switch or whatever they're going to do to drop that blade and that sucker don't drop and that son or daughter stands up and puts them in their place? What they going to do then? That could be a possibility.
Oh, man. I mean, you really think about it, man. You go back to David, and he sits there and says, "Oh, death, where's your sting?" I mean, if you truly dive into the scripture that much, and you have the solidified the foundation set within you, you don't fear this fleshly death. And I sit here and I chew about the fact that, the guillotine, what if the guillotines do come? I think I'd be the first volunteer. I want to go home. I can't wait to get out of here. I mean, technically, if you look at the physical realm, I should have been dead when I was an infant because of certain incidences. I should have been dead as a teenager because of my stupidity. I should have been dead by the suicide attempts that I've tried. I should have been dead when the spirit of death showed up on my door. And it's kind of like, I don't fear it. Every moment that I have to breathe right now, is extra time that I have to preach the gospel. If I get to go home sooner, the better. I can't wait. I just can't wait. This life here is miserable. Except for when you see the miracles and the testimonies and the blessings that the Lord bestows. Those things are awesome. You just keep pressing forward for the next soul. It has nothing to do with Scotty E. I can't wait to go home. I beg for it every day. And I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm still alive. Come on, Lord. Please. Okay, I'll keep preaching.
Yep, absolutely.
For one more
Amen,
soul.
brother. Amen. And yeah, I know exactly what you mean. That's sort of the way once I've already, like I said, when I was saying earlier what happened to me with my little experience. So it don't matter to me. Ain't nothing stopping me. I ain't worried about nothing taking me out till the Father's ready for me to go. Ain't nothing in this world means anything anymore.
Amen.
Yeah, I still love my family, my wife, my children, my grandkids, but I'm ready when the time comes. It don't matter. It don't matter what happens. I'm ready. I know the Father got my back. If they take me to a guillotine, I'm eager to see what's going to happen. I really am. Bring it. Bring it, enemy. There ain't nothing the enemy can say or do to put any type of fear in me. I've already felt the fear of the Father, and it isn't at all like we think it is. But I guess that would be the fear of the Lord. I guess that could be called it. I don't know. Not that he was putting out any type of fear. Again, it's so hard to explain, but there ain't nothing the enemy can do anything. Nothing. I can't believe he still tries. He's persistent. I give him that, but that dude just don't know when to quit. I mean, how many times you need your butt kicked before you stop?
He's like that coworker, man, that won't go away.
Yeah, he's like that hemorrhoid that just wants to flare up. Put a little cream on him. Get him out of here.
Oh, man. That's just awesome, man. That's totally awesome. I mean, the thing is, I love seeing, a lot of people that I talk to, man. It's testimony after testimony. Love watching cancer die. I love seeing people. I love seeing the burdens break. I love seeing the demons flee. I mean, that's the last thing a demon wants to do, show up at my front door. That thing's going to get hurt. You better go on and get it. You're going back to the abyss, and you can't torment anybody anymore. It's all about the power of God, and I love talking about the power of God. I love talking about love. Just like Sanders was talking when I first signed on to the show tonight, man. It's all about the love at the end of the day. It's all about our heart's intent. I mean, anybody can play anybody with their words. But where God cannot be mocked, what's your heart's intent? And that's where every judgment can fall under. Your heart's intent was right. You screw up so bad, God look at your heart's intent, not about the screw up. I look at Romans 8, chapter 1. There is therefore now no condemnation to them who believe.
None.
I don't walk in that condemnation. I walk in love. I receive that. I walk in His mercy, in His unconditional love. I ain't nothing. I'm just garbage, Oh, man. I love it, man. It's a beautiful walk. And I treasure the time that I have here. Because just to see one more soul get home, see one more mind be made right, you know? Tired of seeing this whole garbage about anxiety and depression. It's all in your thoughts, man. Where's your renewed mind? We were promised peace. Those things should be a manifestation in every believer's walk today. The power of God that backs you. He's promised us that. And if you're not in it, get in it. And find out why you're not in it. You know? That's my 2 cents, man.
Absolutely, brother. And your 2 cents are always gold. So appreciate you sharing them with us. But yeah, I mean, you got it. You know it. We're here for a purpose. And who are we going to believe? I mean, Jesus said our accuser's done. He accuses no more. So why do we still act like we're being accused? Why are we accusing ourselves? Why are we letting the enemy fooling us in to the fact that we're falling short? Of course we're falling short. That's why Jesus came to pick us up, dust us off, and keep us moving. Of course you're falling short. But it's all right. Get up. Keep going. Father got this.
I mean, the cross is heavy, man. For all of us. He told us to carry it every day. It's heavy. If it ain't heavy, you ain't doing something right. Because you toss it off to the side. We got to die daily to ourselves.
Daily.
I mean, if the Bible was written any longer, he'd say minute by minute.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's more than daily. It's like constantly. Every thought is either for the enemy or for the Father. Every one. There's no changing that. Every thought either feeds the good or the bad, whether you mean it to or not. Every thought. That's why we're told to take everyone captive.
Not an easy task, is it, brother? It's just tough. It's just, but it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. This walk is so beautiful. I mean, you are what your mind's focused on. If you're more concerned about the turmoils of what's going on in the world today, that's what you have. You constantly live in fear, looking over your shoulder, just like Lot's wife. Or do you choose to press forward, walk in love, walk in peace, walk in joy? Is there hope? Well, yeah, it's one of the last 3 things in the word, right? Faith, hope, and love. Me, it's possible. I see so much fear-based thinking, fear-based preaching, fear-based talking. More talking than there is praying, when it should be the other way around. You know?
Exactly.
I mean, Army, you call me up, any of you guys call me up and say, Scotty, I need to pray. Let's get on it, man. Let's break this burden. Let's break these doors down. Let's get in agreement. What happened to prayer? I mean, it went out the front door. Nobody prays anymore. Unless you're on Facebook.
Yeah, I was going to say, are they?
Prayers.
Yeah, they pretend to pray and I know what you're saying, brother. And it's the truth. And what's he say? If my people would just humble themselves and turn to me and pray. That's all it takes. It's exactly all it takes. We call ourselves warriors. Or are you praying? Because that's what warriors do. That's how we fight. That's our weapon. Prayer.
I guarantee this, everybody on this panel and on this chat room, if we was on the phone call at one moment at the same time with one voice and agreement, I guarantee we would see a sudden change in our surroundings. I would promise you that.
Absolutely.
Everybody put their whole heart into it.
Absolutely. And it's weird because this is syncing up so much with this Wednesday's word. This is just blowing my mind.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I can't wait to hear that, man. I can't wait to hear that. Oh, boy. Well, I don't want to take up your guys' time. Thanks.
Well, hey, we don't have no callers waiting, so you don't got to rush off.
I'll keep on blabbing if you let me, but if you guys got things to do, man, I respect you.
No, we definitely don't have anyone waiting, so feel free. But if you got to go, that's cool. How's the other S and the SNS?
Oh, man, she's doing great. I'll give you guys a little heads up. She got her, she's probably going to smack me, or she's listening right now. But I love you, babes.
Oh, never start a sentence that way. You know you're in trouble.
She has, I think tomorrow, her book's coming in for the final preview. A physical copy for the children's book.
Oh, man. Awesome.
And if it's 100%, it's ready to go. I mean, I think if it's 100% tomorrow, I think 3 days, anybody can get a hold of their copy. But
that's awesome.
You're getting one.
I can't wait. That's awesome.
So
tomorrow, yes. I take it that's her typing in the chat?
Happy that's done. Pardon me?
You're not typing in the chat, are you?
No, I ain't.
Well, then she's here, and she said tomorrow, yes. So
she ain't mad at me.
Awesome, Shauna. I can't wait. That's going to be so good. And that's another thing. I was talking about your channel, and people that don't know that haven't been there, I mean, this is what you're going to get, pure spirit. But you're going to get it like this. You're going to get it in music. Scotty writes and well, I wouldn't say whatever. Scotty creates his own music. The Spirit creates music through him. Shauna does a children's book and reads children's stuff. And man, I'm telling you, you're missing out if you ain't on that channel. That's all I'm saying.
Appreciate the shout out, brother. Actually, you're in the next podcast supposed to be with the children's podcast.
Yeah, I know me and Sean had talked about it in the Hangouts, and yeah, I can't wait.
That's going to be so much. So she hurry up and get right.
I was going to say, you might get in trouble for that one now. Who knows? That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. I know it's going to be because, man, yeah, I can't wait.
I mean, it's crazy what's been happening. I mean, I've been guilty myself, where I've done more talking than praying. In the past 2 months, it's been all about the prayer. And it's amazing what God reveals in that prayer. And actually, I'll give you a little snippet on the next song. The song's finished. But all I got to do is make the video. But it's about the wolves in sheep's clothing.
Oh yeah.
Because there's a lot of talk, but God's revealing who's actually walking the walk. He's separating the wheat from the tares within his own body. Because there's a lot of tares in the body of Christ. And I know the outpour of the anointing that has been lately is to recognize those tares, to recognize the wolves in sheep's clothing. You mentioned that earlier. There is a lot of wolves in the church. And there's a lot of brothers and sisters who we thought are in sheep's clothing. God's bringing that to an end. He is. He's done with it. I hate to say it, but he's pissed. He's done with it, man. It's either be real or not. No more lukewarm. You know, there's no, the luxury of time is gone. He'd rather you be hot or cold. Lukewarm doesn't cut it, man. Make up your mind. You're in or you're out. That's the revelation of that whole song. And that's what I've been feeling the anointing's been doing lately. And I'm praying, bring the sickle, Lord. I'm tired of being the seed by my own. It's a love message, man. And it's easy to take advantage of the people that walk in love. It's disgusting.
Amen.
But that's my story. That's what I've been walking into, man. I mean, you know how it rolls. I love talking about the Holy Spirit. I love talking about the Word. I love talking about what God's doing next. I ain't got enough time to tell you the testimonies that happen on a daily basis. These things should be common in the everyday believer. And it's the simplicity of the gospel. The minute you overthink it, the minute you lost. But it does take some walking to get through, though. It ain't easy. But it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful. I wouldn't change my life for one moment. My life sucks. My marriage is beautiful. My home is beautiful. My walk with Christ is beautiful. The wars, constant wars, it gets old. You know? It gets tiring. What did Paul say? My flesh groans. I feel that groaning. It by no means that I can even compare to Paul. That dude did some stuff, man. I'm just a little guy. I understand the groaning. But we have a job to do. It's not time to roll over in bed and wait until he comes. It's run until he comes. That's what I'm doing. So I hope to do. I hope and pray to do. Just keep on running. Keep on running. No matter how simple, no matter how hard, just keep running. He's never failed. Never. Not once. Ever has he ever failed. I'm sorry, man. I just keep getting hit.
No, I hear you, brother, and absolutely. And I've been feeling, I've been saying the same things. It's time. The fight's on. The fight's now. It ain't no waiting for him to come back. Yeah, it's going to be good when it happens. It's going to be awesome. But we ain't supposed to sit here in our lounge chair and say, oh, where's Jesus at? I thought he was coming back. No, we're supposed to be occupying till he comes. It also says in there that he who endures to the end, they're the ones that's going to be saved. So are you enduring or are you just lounging? You know what I mean? My name's Armor Up for a reason. It's time. Put the armor on. It's on. It's been on. It's been on for a while. Time's getting shorter and shorter. There ain't a lot of time left. Like you said, I think that the veil's lifting. The wolves that are hiding amongst even us are being exposed. They can't not be. It's time. I think just my last video, I said the calling's happening.
Yeah.
The choosing is coming soon. And I hope every one of you get chosen. But I let you in on a little secret. The way to get chosen is to choose him. It's that simple. Father chooses who he wants. Well, guess who he wants to choose? The ones that choose his son.
There you go.
It's a simple thing, man. Do it. Because
Amen.
time's running out.
Yes. Yes. You're so right. I mean, 100% on point right there. Who's the chosen? The one that makes the choice. It's that simple. Amen. I mean, that is so true. I mean, there's no fence riding. You're in here. I mean, I think he'd rather have you just say, no, I'm out, instead of riding the fence.
Well, absolutely, because by riding the fence, you're just leading a whole bunch of people the wrong way, right on that fence with you. So you're darn right. He respects the ones that actually, I mean, I don't even know how to say this without, this ought to get some good mail. But he respects the ones, like you said, who are so cold, who actually hate him and work against him more than he likes the fence riders, in my opinion. Because like I said, the ones that are totally against him, they ain't leading no person who's trying to find him away. They know they're evil. They're not listening to the Luciferians or the Satanists. They know they're on the enemy's team, but they're listening to that fence rider that might be spewing a bunch of garbage, who might be, Jesus, the first thing he told him was, don't be deceived. There's going to be many Christ. Now that don't mean it. Well, it does in one way mean many people who are saying, hey, I'm Jesus. But no, that means many people saying, hey, let me tell you about Christ, and telling you about the wrong one. It don't just mean a person claiming to be Christ. There's many Christ. There's lots of wrong Christ being taught all over the place, including the internet. That's why I always say, get to know the real Jesus, the real one, not the one that someone taught you out of a book, not the one that you've been indoctrinated into believing in, the real Jesus. Once you get to know him, you'll know it, and there ain't no turning back. It's on from there on out, and the enemy ain't got a chance. He ain't going to stop. Like Scotty said, it's miserable. Life sucks. The world sucks, but you just get to beat it every day. That's the only way to look at it. Just whoop his butt every day. Make the most of it. It's all you can do. He ain't going to quit, so don't quit either. He who endures to the end saved.
Amen, man. Amen. I mean, that is so cool, man. That is so cool. But you look at it. He said, many are called and few are chosen. Many have the opportunity to live the chosen life. But the chosen are the one that choose to live that life where they reap the abundance of the fruit that they sowed into Christ. The sacrificed life. Lord, I don't feel like picking my cross up today, but I'll crawl a half a step, if that's even possible, in my miserable state to glorify you. That's my kid. Here you go. Welcome to the next step of your walk. And you see believers question this. Why doesn't God help me? Why am I broke? Why am I sick? Why I got a demon-possessed house? Take the next step. Take the next step. Dare to take the next step. And watch that deliverance come to your home. Watch the healing happen to your body. Watch everything that you ever lacked and be provided for. These things do truly happen. But our treasures aren't here. It's only above. And the above says that you should be healed. And the above says that you should be walking in liberty. And the above says that we should be servants. It's all about your heart, man. The heart is what brings you to the next level, or it holds you back so you can go through the same circle jerk of a mess that you get stuck in. It's the heart. The heart that was what truly matters before God. Is it real or is it not? In everything that you do spiritually, is it real or is it not? It's that simple with God. In everything that you do. That's what he needs first. Oh, boy. Still talking too much, Armor. I'm sorry, brother.
Too much. Man, that ain't even enough. I mean, yeah. See why I say you got to go to that? If you truly on a spiritual walk and you don't go to that channel, I'm going to call your bluff. That's all I'm saying. How can you? Brother just speaks truth and puts it in terms we can all understand. And it's all so true. It's so true.
What's so hard about loving God?
You got me. You got me. Once you felt his love, it's easy to love him. I mean, it's easy to try and realize you can never do it. Put it that way. Yeah, we can't even. Yeah, like you said, and I've said it before, and I don't care who I get mad. There's lots of fake love and fake prayers all around, even in our community. Sorry to say, I ain't calling anybody out. I'm just saying, inspect yourself. Like Scotty said, lukewarmness is done. It's been done for a while. It's over. The calling is happening. It's happening right now. Are you going to answer? Or are you going to keep sitting on the fence? Playing's done. This war is real, and it's on. And it's been on. Like I said, look at the results. It's bleeding over into our natural. Little bits by little bits, darkness is being exposed. Big darkness. Darkness that I've been praying against for a long time is slowly being exposed. So
yes.
Prayer works. The fight is real, and we need you in it because we're the body. Yeah, we're the body. Scotty's just one little piece. I'm just one little piece. We're a body. We need the whole body. You know, us little pieces are going to keep kicking the butt as best we can. But when this whole body gets together, it's over. Blink of an eye. It's all coming true. Blink of an eye, it is done. The minute Christ's body comes together like we're supposed to on this earth, it is over. You want his return? That's when it happens. When his body gets together. The head can't come back without a body. I'm just saying.
We'd like to think it that way, but
oh, they teach it that way.
Please.
Yeah. He's the head. We're the body. He don't need us because he needs us because he can't do it. He needs us because that's the way he does it. It's always been cooperation with us. Look at every miracle in the Bible we like to talk about. Look at Lazarus. When he raises Lazarus, he walks up there and he tells them, roll away the stone. Now, you think Jesus couldn't have rolled away that stone just by thinking it to roll? Of course he could have, but no, human participation. That's what it's all about. We are his body. So we roll away the stone. Then he tells Lazarus to come forth. He didn't need us to roll away the stone. He wanted us to roll away the stone. It's the way he always works. He puts the mud in the blind guy's eyes and he says, now go to the pool and wash it off. Because he wanted him to have a part. It's your faith that healed you. He told him many times. We have a part to play. Quit sitting back and waiting. Waiting. There ain't no time to wait. You keep waiting and you're going to wish you wouldn't have, because you ain't going to be waiting much longer. You better get off the fence and jump down on the right side.
So true, man. It's so true. I mean, you think about it, man. He don't need us. Truly, he don't. But a free will choice, the exact image and the likeness that God gave to us, free will choice. He chose to include us in this big picture. And we have something that nobody else has. No demon, no angel, nothing. We have a free will choice. Look at the fallen ones. They made their free will choice, and look at the price they paid. There was no redemption for them. We could screw up our free will every day. And free will give our repentance back to the Most High God. He says, come back, my kid. That's what I'm talking about. That's unconditional love. To include us in his perfect plan. And it don't matter if what we do is in a perfect state. God's not asking for perfection. He knows we're going to be a failure at it. Your heart's intent is what pleases him. You know, I judge myself so badly when I come to, I don't know, maybe certain videos that I post. Music, oh my God, man, everything once has to be perfect. All the gifts and talents that God has blessed me with has to be perfect. God's like, you gonna put that song up there, man? I said, God, it ain't finished yet. It's finished in my eyes. but what? It ain't perfect, God. You ain't qualified for perfect.
That's right. Just get it done.
Perfect. I'll make you perfect. What's your heart's intent with that song? Well, God, I want to help people out. Good enough. I'll make your wrongs right. Don't worry about the perfection state of it. Do what I told you to do. All right, man.
And isn't that so true? I mean, we want everything we do to be perfect or as near to it as can be, even the videos I make, you know. But as you'll see, if you watch my videos, I don't edit. The Father, it's like, I never edit. It's one shot. I record. If I stumble on a word, it's whatever. I don't edit. As far as re-recording something, now edit and split videos together and all that stuff and talk over them. But I don't retake. I should say I don't do retakes or whatever you call it. And I guess it was, in my case, again, all I can say is about what I experienced. I know it was to get that, to remind me that it ain't about me. It's why I don't show my face. I ain't afraid to hide nothing. And I do show my face. I do interviews. I'll go on with photo. I'll show my face. I did it with Michelle's. I've done a few videos of mine with my face in it. It ain't like I'm afraid of anything. I bring it. Like I said, I ain't afraid. Bring whatever you want to bring. Whatever enemy, bring it. Whether it's in human form, whatever. They're going to wish they wouldn't have come. But so I ain't got nothing to hide or be afraid of. But it ain't about me. And the Father taught me that by like, nope, you said it, it's done, post it. But man, I stuttered. I did this. That ain't even what I meant to say. It's done, post it. Done. You're out of it. It reminds you, this has nothing to do with you. You said what I wanted you to say, whether you realize you said it the way I wanted it said or not. Done. I'll take care of who's supposed to hear it, when they're supposed to hear it, and they're going to get what they need to get. That's the spirit. That's me. That ain't us. We got to get out the way. Just get out the way. Do what you're told to do.
Oh, so true, man. This is so true. You know, this is so true, man. I mean, there's times when the Holy Spirit will drop the bomb on me, man. And I'm screaming top of my lungs. And I mean, you watched that one. I was like, I just uploaded it and went public right off the bat. Didn't even rewatch it. Because if I did, it would never got posted. I'll rewatch it after it goes public and after 20 people see it or whatever. I'm like, oh God, what'd you make me do? This is so embarrassing. I hate my but the message gets out. The obedience is important, no matter how much of a fool you look like.
Yeah, we forget. We see our flaws, but we forget our flaws are exactly what shows his glory. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And he can use this to get a message out. If that don't show his power and glory, nothing does. It's our flaws. It's our uniqueness. That's what the Father loves about us. Just be us. You don't got to change. Ain't got to put on a suit, get a haircut, do whatever. No, you just be you, because the Father made you exactly the way he wanted you to be made, no matter what the enemies told you. You're fearfully and wonderfully made, he told us. I mean, what more could you want? You are fearfully and wonderfully made, yet you're worried about your flaw. That's part of the fearful and wonderful. Deal with it and move on, because it just glorifies the Father.
You look at it, man. I forget where he said it. He said he knew us before the foundations of the world. Flaws and all.
Yep, if he'd have wanted to change anything, he had ample opportunity. He meant us to be just like we are, so we could glorify him different. He don't want zombies all glorifying him the same way. No, we're all different. We all glorify him in our own ways. Scotty does it through music and teaching, and Shauna does it through children's books and teaching, and hopefully I do it through yakking and yammering and Bible readings. Hebrew does it. We all do it, We all do it in our own way. Don't worry about being like anyone else. You're not supposed to be like anyone else. If you were, you'd have been made like anyone else.
Yes. The thing is, I realize how many people's walks have been cock-blocked because of their impersonation of the person beside them.
It's the worst thing we can do.
Yes. The worst thing you can do.
To think someone else's walk is even, our paths may wander together for a while. There's no doubt paths overlap, but your individual walk is yours. You can't be that other individual on that walk. First of all, your histories are 100% different. Your experiences, everything. So how can you be them? And why would you want to be? God's got unique gifts for all of us. Don't worry about whether you got a prayer. Don't worry about anything. Use what he's given you. Whatever he gives you, use it. Don't worry about what someone else got or covet it. It's all right to ask for gifts. It's all right to pray for gifts, but don't covet someone else's gift, because you're already in the wrong camp.
That's in Timothy right there. in the last days, people will covet. Is it the gifts? Could be. Could be. Covet's covet. In a nutshell. I mean, I can't impersonate you. I don't want to try. I'll never even get close. There's no way I can do what you do.
And likewise, I mean, I pick up a guitar, it ain't going to be pretty. I've tried, believe me. I've been friends with many, many guitarists in the service. And yeah, no. Now, harmonica, I could probably give it a whirl. Do a little.
Yeah.
I'm good at blowing hot
That's
air.
what I like to see you do, man.
I'm good at blowing hot air. But yeah. No, and ditto. And that's the point. We're all special. I mean, I'm no special to name. Like Photo said, you can forget me. You ain't forgot nothing. I'm just a dude, man. I'm just a dude. It's Jesus that's important. It don't matter. And we're all unique. Just do what you're meant to do. Use what you got. Don't worry about it.
There you go, man. Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Some people's here to make you laugh. You know what I mean? And my fellow co-hosts, man, they've been quiet. I don't know. I hope they're still with us. Hebro, Saji?
I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, no, it's awesome. When you're on a flow, you flow. That's the way
Yeah,
it
I'm
goes.
still here. I'm just enjoying the show. You know, you don't always. Sometimes it's best to just sit back and listen to the grown people talk. You know what I mean?
Shoot, man.
I don't know. Ask my wife. She says I'm still a child. So you're worse than a kid at times. She says it lovingly, and she's right. But so.
Oh, man. You know, we got moments when we sit on daddy's lap. Because we need to have those moments, man. When you run so long, you get tired. You're kind of like, I'm going to chill now, man. I'm going to chill with you, Lord. Communion. Communion with God. I'm not talking about the physical part, but do the physical communion. That's awesome. The spiritual communion. Step back. Lay down the work that you do for him. Lay down the work that you do all the way around. Take that moment. I mean, you say this all the time, Armor, and I agree 100%. Take some time. Sit back with the Father and just chill. You and him. Don't bring your problems to him. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy his place. Go to the throne room and rest. And you wonder how people constantly are refreshed on channels and they're constantly just flowing in the Holy Spirit. You take a moment of rest. It refills you, recharges you, gives you that next. Okay, let's get back into it, man. Let's slay some giants. And you go back and get your youth renewed like the eagles. Beautiful, man. Walk is beautiful. I want to go home. Praise God, man. Y'all still there?
I'm here. I think Armor might have fell off.
Ah, man. I tell you what, man, what you were saying at the beginning blesses me, man. When I called on when they first called onto the cell, man.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
I mean,
But like you said, I'm not taking any credit for anything.
But you was right on point about the AI, man. This is where I came in. You know, you was talking about the AI. And, dude, any communication that we have with an AI is stealing from your spirit, man. Because when we talk human to human, it's a transfer of spirit, whether good or bad. But if you're transferring to nothing, is Satan stealing.
Oh, you couldn't have said it better myself. And what's the scariest thing about it is it's getting so much better at pretending or at emulating or mimicking us.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, dude. They're getting good at it. Very good. And it's just stealing the life out of you. Everything's AI now, and it's just, ugh. It's dirty. It's stealing your spiritual life.
At least it's trying to, anyway.
Yes. But that's their goal, man. That's their goal. If you can waste your life, if you can waste everything that you have instead of laying hands on the sick and healing them, or casting out a demon, or preaching the word to set somebody free, that AI is going to do its job to steal all that from you. Look what the internet does.
You know, I was thinking while I was listening while you guys were talking, and I've been thinking about it while, I've been sitting here kind of laid back, and I've been hearing the same words coming up, and you even said it. You were talking about the presence of the Lord, and the caller before you had mentioned something about time manipulation, and thinking about like time and its relativity, and the presence of the Lord, and all those things are kind of like, it's all kind of relative. I mean, it's kind of cliche when you say the presence is a present, but it is a present. I mean, all we really ever have at any given moment is right here and now. And that is the constant gift that keeps on giving, is every time you get another here and now, and then another, and then another, that is the gift. And essentially you're time traveling at any moment. Whatever time it is right now where you're at, you're traveling through that time. And the last point I want to make with all that is the fact that the conscious spirit, the spirituality, the spirit form of us is in that moment all the same as the physical meat sack part of us is in that moment too. We are sharing this present moment, this here and now, and it is ours to have, and it's ours to do with whatever we choose, or ours to waste frivolously. But as long as you keep getting another one, it's still your free will and your choice to do with it what you will do with it. And that really is the overall message that I'm taking away from tonight's podcast.
There you go.
Yeah, and that's
so true. You're absolutely right. We have this. You think about, we are born again by faith. Are we truly born again until we enter eternity? I mean, we're still in the womb. We're still in our 9 months here on this earth. We truly don't start life until eternity crosses. God operates outside of time. We're stuck in it. You enter in His presence, time don't exist. It reminds me of the time that the first real moment that I had with God. I was born and I was raised Catholic, whatever, man. Who cares? Blah, blah, blah. But a prophet came up to me, and I was at the lowest point of my life. I was suicidal. I was hooked on drugs. All that. Same story as everyone else, probably. I don't know. And I was driving home, just left the bar with the prophet. Dropped them all. He says to me, "Wait till you meet God. He's the coolest guy." Hey, what? What you talking about, Willis? Never talked about it. Hanging around this person for ever, coworker. So I'm driving home, and I'm listening to a song, man. It was from Yngwie Malmsteen. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Yngwie Malmsteen. The song's called My Resurrection. And I'm listening to that song. And the first time in my whole life, I was the age of 19, something awoke into my spirit. It's the first time I was ever sensitive to my spirit. That song's playing, and I was like, what is that? I could see something in the distance, not with my physical eye, my spiritual eye. I said, what is that? What is that in the distance? I see it, but there's no physical form. And I'm driving, listening to the song, and I'm on the highway, driving home. I'm stoned. I'm drunk. And this spiritual knowing that came out of nowhere was drawing closer and closer, and it was coming at me. If I could relate it to a physical realm, it was like a comet. The speed of this spiritual unction was coming towards me so fast. I had no words. And the closer it got, the more enlightened I perceived. And it kept on getting closer, and I'm listening to the song, and he's saying, no more demons in my head. Time to see the light. A heathen band. I'm sitting there, it's like, what the heck is going on? And this light's drawing closer and closer. And all of a sudden he gets to the chorus, he says, my resurrection. And I say, that's it. I don't know why he said that. I was like, that's it. And that comment, that spiritual comment hits me in the dead center of my heart, because I seen it coming. I was like, oh boy, this is going to hurt. Completely invisible, 100% spiritual. And it hit. It exploded. I mean, if it was physical, it would have destroyed the whole earth. I mean, it was that powerful. And it hit my heart. And I was on cloud heaven. And I heard God speak audibly. He didn't even actually. The first thing I said, God, is that you? Audibly. Yes. I cried like a little baby. Man, I was, oh my God. The presence that spiritual force hit me with. It's perfect peace, perfect joy, perfect love, perfect grace, perfect mercy. To this day, that was 20 years ago, almost 20 years, over 20 years ago. I have never experienced anything that powerful. It was heaven on earth. I was out of body. I forgot I was driving. I forgot my surroundings. And I promise you this, I was outside of time. There was no time. That whole time that I had with God was eternity. There was no clock. It was so powerful, so beautiful. And I pray everybody would have an experience better than that. I just hope everybody gets to experience something with God. But that was so strong. There was no time. When God was that strong, time did not exist. It wasn't there. I didn't know where I was. I talked with God. And it was so weird, man. It was so awesome. I asked God a question. God, what is trust? And then, I remember, man, I have no idea what spirituality is. Never read the Bible at that point in my life. The answer was there, and he didn't have to say a word. I felt it radiate from my inner man. And I had the completion of that knowledge. Not a word spoken. I just knew. And I asked, God, what's a friend? The answer was there. I felt his presence radiate the completeness of what a true friend is, what trust is. He didn't even have to speak. It just radiated through my whole body, my whole being. And every time he revealed, I could not stop crying. So powerful, so strong. The answer, I can't even describe the answer. It was so pure. It was too pure. I barely handled that presence. I mean, if I could kneel while I was driving, I would have. My head would have been laid low, flat. I would have been eating dirt. I wanted to go home at that moment. It was so real, so powerful, so strong, so beautiful. Every perfect thing happened at that moment. And it was outside of time. And the thing is, whether you're a believer or not, you will exist in eternity. But the choice of where you spend eternity at is yours. We all have eternity. And I tell you what, that experience alone gave me just a taste of what eternity is like. It is the most beautiful thing. This earth has nothing, absolutely nothing close to even the experience that I had was nothing. It was everything. The experience I had was everything. This earth has nothing here for us. Nothing. I mean, you can gain accolades. You can have all, somebody said in the chat earlier, gain the whole world and lose your soul. There's nothing in this world, I promise you that. I don't know how long I was in God's presence. That strongly. All I remember was a big old buck crossing the road and it snapped me out of it. I don't know where I was. How'd I get here, God? But that was the best moment of my life. And that's why I do what I do today. I hope everybody else can see that same thing. Trust me, these life situations are nothing. I'm sorry. I don't even know if I'm still in the air.
Oh, you're still here, brother. And yeah.
Oh, yeah, we went off the air a half hour ago, but that was still great to listen to.
No, it's spot on again.
I'm just kidding.
What can you really add to it? It's the absolute truth. And it's like I was saying. I mean, once in that presence, there ain't no words for it. There just isn't. The pure love, the pure grace, the pure mercy, the pure forgiveness, everything you read about, it's all real and way more real than you can even begin to comprehend unless you're blessed enough like Scotty and me to have tasted just a drop. I mean, I know it could have only been a drop because, man, it's overpowering.
You know what's funny? That him telling that story reminded me of something I had totally forgotten about until I heard him. Talk about that when he was talking about how the presence was coming up on him, and he could feel it, getting closer and closer, and then he compared it to the comet. I mean, the way that visualization in my mind that I created, listening to the words. It reminded me of when I was a kid. I was probably somewhere between ages of 9, 10, or 11. I wasn't a teenager yet, but I wasn't a toddler either, so I was somewhere in between. And I went downtown with my mom and my dad and my family. I had my brother. I'm pretty sure my brother was with me, and I forget what we were doing. I'm pretty sure we were going to a baseball game, a Reds game, is where I think we were walking through the streets of downtown, and we had gotten there early. Like the game was supposed to start like around 7 or 8, and we had gotten there like around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, so we could walk around downtown Cincinnati. And we came across one of those guys that you see in the movies where he's got the megaphone and he's got the sign and he's shouting, he's screaming to anybody walking past different Bible verses and different things about the Lord. And I mean, I guess that was how he was called to serve that day, was to go out there and say those messages. I had never seen anything like that in real life. I mean, yeah, you see it in the movies sometimes, and it's that cliche. The guy looks crazy, and people are tuning him out, and people are just walking past, not paying him any attention. Somebody's probably usually rude and tells him to go get a job or get lost or beat it or whatever. But I just remember seeing that for the first time. And as we were coming around the corner, I could hear him before I could see him. And I could hear him saying things that I didn't understand what he was saying. But one word that I heard that he said as we approached him, as I heard him say something about revelations. And I knew I had never heard that word before, and I didn't know what it meant. And we went to the game, and we're on, the game's over, and we're driving home. And I asked my dad, because I remember hearing him saying that. I'm like, I said, do you remember the man with the megaphone on the street when we were on our way to the game? And he nodded and said, yeah. Uh, he's like, what did you think about that? And I said, I don't know. I've never seen anything like that before. But he said something about revelations, Dad. What is revelations? And then my dad explained to me that it was in the Bible, and it's about the end of days, about how when Jesus is supposed to return. And I was like, well, tell me about it. He's like, well, honestly, I don't know it like well enough that I could give you anything. But when we get home, I have a Bible, and we can look it up, and I'll look at it with you. And I just remember then that when we got home, he looked it up, and we started to look at it. And so when I was 10 or 11, he was trying to read it to me and make it make sense to me, but it all just seemed over my head. And at the time, and I didn't totally understand it. Of course, since then I've came to a better understanding of what it is and what it means. But you know what? I wonder how many other people he walked past that man that day and just pretended to be annoyed or pretended to be tuning him out, or just just carried on about their day as if he wasn't even standing there. But somehow, some way, some little message got through to some people, and it made such a difference in their lives, or in something that in their spiritual awakening, somehow, some way. I bet you that there's a lot more people who are positively affected than there are people who, even though the public consensus is that he's a nuisance, and that he's bothering people. I think it's so much further from the truth. That's just my perception on all that.
I agree. I completely agree with you right there, man. Satan ain't gonna share us the truth on that. I mean, we're stuck in this world's perspective. I mean, how many people have we affected unknowingly? God told us everything of every person that we helped out. We just be nothing but a bunch of pride walking around. But the beautiful thing is, I mean, look at the percentage of the lies that's going on out there. I mean, we see these everything taking over, the libs and everything, all that. It's just getting nasty. But what's their percentage? It's very minimal. The impact of believers goes beyond, and it goes. A good thing goes very far, and we may never know that truth until we get to go home, which is good. It's all right. We live by faith, right? I truly, you're right about that. He probably impacted so many more people, because a lot of people don't say it. They'll never say it. The only people that say something is when they've been followed on. I completely agree, man. He probably impacted more. You never know.
And you know, the one thing is, like I said in a few videos ago, I think, is, and like you say all the time, Scotty, you're here for just that one. If you could just get one. And then it's true. If we can just turn one person to the truth, help them become a true brother or son or daughter of the Father, a true brother or sister, a true one, a real one that's in the fight. If we can get just one, well, then if that one gets just one, if the one they get just gets one, and one they get just gets one, you know, that's all it takes. That's, if we can all just get one, and that one gets one, and it keeps getting one, well, then all them ones make up a pretty good sized body. So don't worry about, and that's another thing. I never worry about, and I'm blessed enough to hear from people about how somehow the spirits use me to help them by, again, the pure glory of God, the Father, because it sure ain't me. So, but when I do get to hear the feedback, which is cool, but it don't matter. If you never hear the feedback, it boils down to what I was saying before. The Father's message will get to who he wants it to get to, when it's supposed to get to them, whether you're still around or ever know about it or not. So do what you do knowing it isn't going to come back void. It can't come back void. If you're truly speaking through the Spirit for the Father, it will not come back void. It can't. It don't matter if you ever see a result. It worked. You're doing what needs to be done. It don't matter if you see a result. That's the pride again. That's self. That's the enemy trying to make you think you're something. You ain't nothing, but you can do a lot. The minute you can realize you're not nothing is the minute you can start being more than you could ever believe. Believe that. The minute you realize you're nothing is the minute you become amazing.
Mm-hmm. Hey, bad. I tell you what, man. Whoever's holding up the Lord's return, they need to hurry up and get saved.
Yeah, I know. Come on, man. Let's go. It's like, but you know, I always remind myself, because we're all eager. I mean, how can we not be eager for the end? But I remind myself, man, if that end would have came 15 years ago, whew, I was on the wrong side, literally on the wrong side, proudly fighting for the wrong side. So thank God for his long suffering. Thank the Father for his patience. So although I want it to come, I can only pray it lingers longer so that more can come to the body. I mean, yeah, I wish I was out of here. I want to go home bad. I don't belong here, but I'm here. I got to do what I got to do. And although I want it to end tomorrow, I hope it goes on quite a while yet, just so more people can come to know it. That's what it's all about. We got to take time to get one at a time. But like you said, Father's outside of time, so it don't matter.
Yeah. He's lucky, man. Lucky dog, man. He gets to see it all, man. But hey, it's faith. Faith is a good thing. Faith is a good thing. If we knew the outcome, we'd mess it up. He gave us the outcome we needed to know.
Yep. Yep,
You know?
absolutely. We don't, like you said, it's all about the faith. I have no clue what's going to happen. I know what I think's going to happen. I know what I have faith in is going to happen. Whether that happens or not, I guess we'll see. Was my faith unfounded? I don't think so. But we'll see. We'll know.
Wow. Well,
Man,
guys,
awesome.
I'm going to have to bounce, man.
Yeah,
I guess
awesome call, brother.
drywall and work on tomorrow. God.
Yeah, fun. Well, thanks for calling in, brothers.
But
Man, great talk. Shauna, congrats again on the book. I can't wait. That's going to be so good. Any of you got children or grandchildren, man, you got to get a hold of that book. I know it's going to be good. It's hard to find them good stuff nowadays. So when you can, snatch it up. That's what I say.
Yeah, I wanted to thank you for calling as well. I really appreciated it. It was very enlightening.
hey, man, thanks. Thank you guys for having me. I'm humbled. I'm sorry I talked too long. I like to talk. That's my problem. It's a blessing to come around to be. It's a blessing to me just to be surrounded and accompanied by other believers. I mean, love is love, and if I don't talk to you, I know we get to see each other in eternity, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters, man. We all have a job to do, and I humbly thank you. With all due respect to you guys, thanks for allowing me to come in and slap my jaws. I pray you guys have a blessed night and a blessed tomorrow, if tomorrow is here, and a blessed life. Thank you. I'm humbled.
Well, thank you, brother, for blessing us by flapping your jaws, because it sure blessed me. It always blesses me. So, yeah. And like I said, now you see why I say, if you ain't subbed to that channel, I don't know why. I really couldn't figure it out. So definitely hit them up, man. They it's just so good. This isn't a fluke. This is it. This is every video. It's just Scotty and Shauna is for real. And I love them to death. They're like, they inspire me as much as the old preachers I post on my Wednesday words. I'm just being truthful. They're part of what feeds me and keeps me going. I guarantee you. Absolutely. So thanks for calling in, brother, and call in again sometime. Have Shauna call in when her book comes out. We usually do call-ins every Sunday. So yeah, have her call in, get a good plug in for it. She can give us links where to get it, stuff like that. Be awesome.
Boo. Thanks, guys. Thank you. And as usual, in Jesus' name, peace out. Love you.
Peace out, brother.
Goodbye.
Hey, bro, you still with us? You ain't said nothing in a while.
I don't think he's still in the room. We only have your icon and my avatar.
Yep, we lost him again. Man,
I think he might have went night. I think he his meds kicked in.
Yeah, it might have. He is in the hospital. We got it. Wait, I think he's coming back. Yep, hold on. He's back. Hebrew.
So do we have any more callers, Armor?
No, we have no more callers. And
if you want to shut down the phone, you can, and we can we can just talk ourselves out of this.
Yeah, it is getting late, so I'll go ahead and close the phone lines. Hopefully, if anyone wanted to call in, didn't get to, Next Sunday, we'll probably be doing call-ins again. So we'll hear from you then. All right, phone lines are shut. Hebrew, you with us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, cool. My phone was doing something weird where instead of charging the battery, it was draining from it. So that's why I couldn't stay in, and then I had to come back out, go back in. You know how that does sometimes. So, Sedge,
So,
technically
so you were
speaking,
doing the proverbial hokey pokey again, huh? Well,
yeah,
that's what it's all about, my man.
that's
He
what
was
it's all
shifting.
about.
It is a shifty Sunday. He was shifting.
All right. So while we were on the call, I put some photos there in Hangouts. If you want to share them, you can. But there's not really much there. I mean, that first photo is somebody who visited Antarctica. I'm trying to get back to the page. I went down another rabbit hole since, and now I lost my spot on Google. Let's see here. There it is. Hold on, I'm almost there. I clicked the wrong one. Hold on. Well, make a long story short, it was Buzz Aldrin was the astronaut that went down there back in 2016, and Tom Hanks has also been there, and that picture is the head of the church in Russia. Like I had his name, but now I can't find it. And then there's also a church, an Orthodox church that the Russians built back in the 60s. I think they built it. They had very limited machinery back then. They built it mostly by hand because they really wanted a place to be able to worship when they were contracted to be down there to build those bases. Back when they first started building those bases back in the 50s and 60s, one of them really wanted a place to worship, and they built that church. So I sent it to our Hangouts. I don't know if you
Yeah, I'm
are able
sharing
to.
now.
Yeah. Which I think it looks like such a humble yet pristine place at the same time.
Yeah, it's almost
It's got.
the
Go ahead.
cabin feel with ornate toppage, we should say.
Yeah, and there's a lot written about that church. A lot of stories to go along with it. Some folklore tied to it. I might look. I'm going to look into it deeper. I'll present it on a future Shifty Sunday.
Cool. Sounds interesting.
I thought it was weird that Tom Hanks made the list of people who have recently visited Antarctica, and more specifically, he visited that particular church. That's how I found out about it. I was reading that article, and then I clicked the link for the church.
Huh. Yeah, I knew Tom Hanks went there. I had no clue he went to that church, though. I didn't even know that church was there, so cool find.
Good find, brother.
Yeah, I'll look more into it. I'll have a full report within the next week or so.
Sounds awesome. Well, I guess it's getting late.
Yep.
Let me give a final shout out to this awesome room. And
Heck yeah.
we can do our final thoughts. So we got Mike Ballman, PG2424, Carla Red Pill, Bobbert Boucher was here. He had to take off. Always good to see Bobbert. Zeb Johnson, my man. Scrolling down. Belinda Brubaker, BB was here. Man, I ain't seen BB in a while. Good to see you, sister. Much love. Rosa A. had to go put the kids to bed, I believe. but was here earlier. Scrolling down, who else we missing? Of course, Photo was here earlier. Jenny Purr. Reigning Redemption, of course, who just called in. Connie Joe Woods here. Spiritual Vapor, Do-It-Yourself Oramus. Michael E. Lorraine Lamore, of course. Was the first one here, I believe. Jocko R, of course, in the house. A staple to the channel. Well, your channel, and managed to find us even though we shifted. So,
Right.
good, Jocko. I think I got everyone. I hope I got everyone. Great calls tonight. Thanks everybody that called in. That was awesome.
Oh man.
Thank you all.
Yeah. So,
All right, guys. Any final thoughts or anything you want to close out with?
can I go real quick?
Sure. Let's hear from the Hebrew man himself.
I just wanted to say I appreciate everybody being on the show in the chat. I appreciate everyone that called in. We had some really, really good call-ins tonight, and especially that last one. That last one got to me. You know, but first, I mean, last and certainly not least, or least, but certainly not last, I'd like to point out that we really appreciate God's Armor for hosting tonight's Shifty Sunday. Thank you very much, sir. You've done a real service to us all.
Oh, well, my pleasure. Anything I can do to help keep the Sunday shifting, brother. I mean, I love your show. I love what you're doing. So, yeah, glad I could help. It's what my channel's here for. And hey, I ain't went live in forever, so it was good to knock the rust off. So.
It was a good deal. Hopefully next week, by next week, I'll be out of here and be able to, in the comfort of my own home, and be able to do a show in the comfort of my own home.
Yes, we'll be back on the Hebrew channel, Father's willing, next week. So.
But that's really all I had to say. Oh, and tune in for God Armor Up. Tune in for his Wednesday word, and I'll do another shameless plug. Tune in for Thirsty Thursday every Thursday night at 7 Central, 8 Eastern.
And who knows, we may even do another Monday Madness this coming Monday. It's been known to happen.
Right. And of
Yep,
course,
I'm loving the Thursdays, brother. They're awesome. I'm behind, but everyone I watch, I'm loving it. So
awesome.
Keep up the good work. It's awesome. Your authenticity is, like I said, Father loves us to be us. He loves real. He don't like fake. He don't like lies. He likes real. Be authentic. And man, that just shines through on Thirsty Thursday. So I love it.
Yeah, it's if it's nothing else, it's genuine and authentic. I would definitely give it that. He gives it 100% every time.
Well, I mean, sharing your growth and just, like I said, Father loves honesty and authenticity more than anything, more than people realize. So you're way ahead of the game, brother. Believe me. You may just be starting out, but you just keep doing what you're doing and being real. And yeah, you're already further than a lot of them might think they are, if you know what I mean. And I say it out of love, just telling you, check yourselves, because the games are over. Ain't got time to mess. Check yourselves. Are you authentic, or you got a mask on? Because you can't wear no mask with the Father. He knows the real you, so you might as well just be the real you so that he can show the real him. It's the way it works. So kudos, Hebrew. Keep doing what you're doing, brother.
You know, like I said before, and I've heard it on this show, I've heard it from Saji, and I've heard it from you, and it ain't all coming from me, so I can't take 100% credit. But thank you anyway. I tried to do my best to keep it real, like you said, and just keep on doing what I'm told to do, what the word strikes me for what it's worth, you know.
It's like $1.87.
Huh? Oh, very funny.
Yeah, Saji, anything you want to end with?
No, just remember that love is the most important thing. It's more important than the new cell phone. Believe it or not, it really is. However, I know that we all have to somehow provide a means, to take care of ourselves and our families. But just don't get lost in the materialistic part of life, and try to focus. Take time to focus on the essentials of what really makes people happy. Find out the people you care about most, what it is that they're yearning for, what kind of attention, what kind of love, what kind of needs are they going through right now. Maybe set the phone down long enough uh, to look at the person that's across from you, look into their eyes, think about what they're thinking, try to know what they're dealing with and what they're thinking about and what they're going through. That's the message I have for this week.
All right,
Well,
sounds good.
well said, brother. Well said.
I guess you're gonna close it out, God's Armor, since it's your channel.
Well, yeah, but it's your show. You pirated it. So,
Oh yeah, that's right. I shifted.
yeah, you should. We're not really on my channel. This is all an illusion.
Okay. Well, then I'll go ahead and do my usual closing the show. I would just, like I said, I'd like to thank everyone for participating. All the phone calls are great. Thank you everybody, and for everyone here at the Hebrew channel, Hebrew channel for now this time. Thanks everybody for watching, and good night and God bless.